a street hack. I'm a little worried about it.
Welcome to the 4th annual 11-Day Power Play. In 2020, we call it the Big Save, presented by our friends at Clever Method. I'm Mike Lesikowski.
And I'm Amy Lesikowski.
This year's event is a little bit different in many ways, but one thing that definitely doesn't change is we're going to continue our fight against cancer. Cancer does not stop for COVID, neither will we. We've been resilient, we'll continue to be so. And welcome to the show.
So we are excited to announce that if you weren't tuned in yesterday, we've exceeded $1 million in 2020. Pretty exciting. Our players have continued to fundraise since the start of the show yesterday. So we have $1,016,000. And please, anybody that's able, donate. Go to 11daypowerplay.com. Let's keep the funds coming in. We're going to learn all about the reasons why we should be supporting these amazing beneficiaries we have in our community.
Also, very importantly, is our sponsors. We have tremendous sponsors. We always have. This year, we're brought the 11-Day Power Plays presented by Clever Method. And we have a whole slew of sponsors and donors. They're the Power Play sponsors. They're the Overtime sponsors. We could not do this without you. Thank you very much.
And all the money raised goes to Roswell Park Camp Good Days, Make-a-Wish, and Roswell Park Oshai Children's Cancer and Blood Disorders Program.
Coming up, this evening, we have a great evening. The folks that are going to be in studio with us tonight are Ben Marshoni from Make-a-Wish, Western New York. We have Andrew Bennett from Oshai Children's Hospital. We have Matt Lowe from our great partners at Crowley Webb. And also, fan favorite and wonderful friend of the show and our organization, Marty Biron, Sabres Alumni.
I can't wait. Amazing tonight. So throughout these 11 days, we are featuring many, many different teams, and telling their story is really the focus of what we want to do through this live stream. And tonight, we are going to introduce to you Morgan Hedich and her Pine Riders team. They are an all-female team that are coming in tonight to play, and we really are excited to show you all about their team through this feature.
I've played hockey basically since I was 3 or 4. I started off at roller hockey and then ice. This is me playing roller hockey. It'd be like the first year I played. So yeah, that's probably like our first game. And then getting dressed. Back when you couldn't dress yourself. Pops and I. My dad was with me and my mom was with my brother because we both played travel hockey growing up. Everybody piled into the van to wherever we're going, and then everybody came home. It was a whole family affair to go in the van. That was our team. We won the championship, I remember, so. My dad was actually always my coach. It was great. Sometimes. Other times not so much. Like people are like, oh, you're the coach's kid. Like you always were like looked at the hardest, like miss a puck or miss a pass. You'd be like, get off the ice, like go sit down. I was like, why are you short shifting your kid? I'm your kid. He's like, you gotta be the best out there if you want to stay out there. It's probably one of my first Sabres games, my father and I. The stash. He always had a mustache. He was diagnosed in the summer of 2017. He had colon cancer that spread to his liver and everywhere else. Had a few surgeries, took out most of his liver. They thought it was gone, and then I'd probably say like 4 months after that he wasn't feeling well, and it actually had came back. Then he got really sick and passed away.
There you go.
Full circle. This is a huge photo. You better not have. Did you buy this? This is Riley Malecki. So her father plays in the 11-day and coached me all throughout high school. And then I came full circle and I started coaching her. Chris Malecki, he was my high school hockey coach. He was like, hey, if you guys ever need any community service hours, I'd love for older girls to come and teach like my mini mites. It's all girls team. They're like 7 through 10. Like you got to see like them grow up as players. And then like it was funny as they grew up, they got to be almost like my skill set. And you're like, damn, like you can beat me. Like they were knocking me over, beating me up. It was like fun for them to like give the coach a little bit of what we give to them every year. So in the 11-day, you're really just like trying to raise awareness and like it's doing something you love to do. It's like I get to go play hockey for 3 hours and we have a good group of girls. The team's split in half and we're all just playing each other. Half of it is like my group that I played with versus like the younger half that I've coached. It's a wide variety of people coming and like hanging out, but we all will have one tie together as like hockey, which is pretty cool. If we were actually able to play hockey, like hopefully next year we will, our game would be really fun to watch.
And we still actively play too, right? It's not like
Think
we're
about
like
yourself.
sitting on a couch and just, okay, I still actively play.
Our team actually raised enough last year. We played like the Sabres Alumni, so that was a good experience with the girls. Like we had the Buttes there and everything else for them to see. It was really like sentimental, I would say. Everyone on this team knew my dad some shape or form. Like my cousins all made like little posters and signs, and it was like a really nice moment. It's very nice because the girls like I'm playing with, they played for him too, so it's nice that we're all getting together. Everyone has their own person to get together for, which is like the saddest part of all this.
So I actually just lost my aunt to cancer on Tuesday. Like literally just lost her to stage 4 pancreatic cancer. So to be involved in this event is really important to be able to give back and to support in any way that you can. When we do the event in August and probably going forward, I'll always be thinking of her every time.
We played for Norm Robinson and Rose Robinson, and they both passed away from cancer. Our families were pretty close to them, so that's for us. And they kind of established women's hockey in this area back in the day, so it means a lot to us. And it's just fun to play with. Like I grew up playing with her, so it's in our blood.
Everybody's affected with cancer. There's not just one person. So any sort of donation we can give to Roswell to just keep bettering themselves. They're in my district, so I respond to calls there. I see people. They need the community support more than ever.
What would he say about you participating in the event now?
He would be really happy that I had my own team. He would be proud that I'm not just like, oh yeah, I'll play for you guys and just not do anything and just raise my money. It's like super special, super emotional. He'd always say, go have fun. Try your hardest, go have fun. If we lose, we lose. That was his big motto. Just always go out there, have fun, try your hardest. It hits home, and it hits home for a lot of people. It's not just you playing by yourself, like you're playing for other people. So just to be a part of like something so much bigger than yourself is really cool.
Awesome video. Watching you guys having a lot of fun at the at home and talking about the previous games you played. So thanks for coming.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
So what's it like being an all-female team captain?
Oh, it's been a lot. No, it's been really fun. It's a good group of girls we have. I played with them. I coached them. We got a few previous Buffalo Buttes on the team, so it's going to be a mix of talent here today. So it'll be fun.
We're excited to watch you guys.
When did you first learn of our event? Was it back in the original event? Like, can you just explain, what you thought of it and, what you thought originally of it and how it's gone since then?
So actually, a few of the girls that I've always played with, their fathers were on the original 11-day where it was just them sleeping and playing continually.
Who was that?
Mark Lauber and Mr. Leonard.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I know those two crazy guys.
Yep.
They're fun to be with. So yeah, I knew about it through them, and then I played last year on Ken's team. So.
Awesome. And when the first time you showed up at the arena, was that as expected, more than expected? how did that go? How did your team enjoy it? And like, was it? How did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did. It's a great atmosphere to be in. I wasn't actually expecting so many like little things to go do and go see. It was just like, oh, I'll show up, I'll play hockey for 3 hours, I'll get a good skate in and go home. But it was so much more than that. It was so interactive and everything else, with even everybody just being around.
Yeah.
The Wall of Wisdom and the Puck Wall of Hope.
Yes, all those.
Like
Signing those were really fun last year.
So we always like to ask the captains, you see what we have 2,600 players registered, and we've got, almost 200 teams at the beginning of this year. So what's it like running a team?
Oof. No, it's actually, so many people do it for the right reasons that it's not hard. They raise their money. We actually hit our $10,000 goal today.
Thank you.
Even through like COVID and everything like that. So that was really nice to do. People sign up for the right reasons, so it's easy, but also just like the badgering of questions you get. Like, I'm not kidding. I think we have like 16 people showing here up today, and I've gotten 16 text messagings asking, are you on your way? Are you coming? Like, where are you? Where do I sign in? And I'm like, it's definitely like, Mike and Amy definitely have it all planned out. So you're just not there yet. You just don't see it. Like, but I got, today, phone calls. My phone was just ringing on my wrist.
Of course.
Somebody's looking where I am and everything else. But no, it's fun.
So Morgan, with the 4 beneficiaries that we support, Roswell Park, Children's Hospital, Make-A-Wish, Camp Good Days, is there a beneficiary that's closer to your heart that we support?
My father was in and out of Roswell, so probably Roswell, but also just Children's, like, it's the kids. Right when COVID started happening, I had to go into the hospital, and they were like, oh, have you or anybody you've known been out of New York State? And I was like, oh, this is Children's. Like, yes, somebody I know has been outside New York State. They were actually in Washington. They're like, oh, thanks for telling us. I'm like, yeah, they're kids.
You had mentioned in the video that Roswell's in your district. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you do?
I'm a Buffalo police officer. I work out of Maine and Tupper, so it's B district. So yeah, we actually have the whole healthcare little unit that they have now, BGH, Children's, Roswell. So yeah, it's pretty fun to deal with all that.
What are you looking most forward to tonight with the girls?
Kind of just playing hockey with everybody again. With all this going on, none of us, we usually get ice. We're all on teams together. We all play on a senior women's team through the Buffalo Stars. We haven't been on the ice since March. We were supposed to go down to Nationals. Nationals got canceled, so a lot of the girls on the team.
Down in Florida?
Yep, yeah, Miami. We were supposed to go down there. So just doing that, getting back out with a core group of girls that you play with is really fun.
So what, when you told the girls that you're playing street hockey or ball hockey, how was that accepted?
So many people asked me, do we have to run? Can we wear rollerblades? That was a badgering of questions, whether they were coming or not. They're like, can we all wear rollerblades? I'm like, I don't think so, and I'm not really going to ask. If it was rollerblades, they would have said rollerblades, but yeah, no, it was pretty fun.
Well, I can tell you from experience, I played a couple shifts already, and once you get out there and you're playing hockey, whether it's on ice or playing ball hockey, it's a ton of fun. You're with your friends, you're with the same crew. It doesn't matter. You can pick this up and put it in Florida or Harbor Center or on ice anywhere, and it's kind of the same atmosphere regardless, and you kind of can get that feel.
No, yeah, for sure. I know they were like, it's 3-on-3 both ways. I'm like, they're like, we thought we were running the whole court. I'm like, we could probably run the whole court if you guys want.
Yeah, you could.
Running the full court would be pretty fun. I was like, maybe they'll shrink it. I'm like, no, they're not going to shrink it.
Yeah,
this is hockey.
Just put the nets up
just go run around.
Yeah.
Well, I know your goalies were a little concerned about their pads. We did put out plastic for you guys tonight so that they can protect their pads.
Goalies are a special breed, and then they play seriously still too. The one plays for UB, and then the other one just plays. I don't even know how many club teams she's on. It's really hard to keep track of, and during wintertime we don't see her unless a game gets randomly canceled.
Always a need.
Yes, always a need. I know. The one texted me a few weeks ago. She was like, I might not be able to make it. I'm like, you're our goalie.
Kind of important position.
And finding a female goalie that still plays is very hard. So that was the core group of this all females team. I'm like, you need to show up.
Yep.
Then 5 minutes later, she's like, sorry for the scare. All good. I'm like, come on, 5 minutes only. But no, yeah, it'll be fun.
In your video tonight, 11-day beers. Being, one of the girls is drinking the 11-day beer. Have you tried it?
I have.
What are your thoughts?
It's good. It's just a standard beer. Like, it's pretty good. You could drink them all day long. I'm more of a sour person, though, so, I'll have one of those. Like, everybody brings a six-pack. As soon as they find out, like, that's for the 11-day, somebody in the party always brings one. It's like, hey, guys, look what I found. You sell them all over, too,
Yeah.
Wegmans and everything else. It'd be
4
cool
packs.
if... Yes, I'm sorry, 4 packs, the big boys. It'd be nice if, like, maybe they could incorporate, like, it all year round, because, the 11 days always going to be a thing.
Exactly. So we are planning to have a beer every year and
Oh,
a new beer
nice.
can. So if you haven't gotten your can yet, get it as a collectible.
We got a few cans. My house, my mom's house. I think everybody on the team has a can laying around somewhere. It's just something, a collector's item almost.
We'll tell our friends at Thin Man that there's a vote for a sour for next round.
For
next
sure.
batch.
I mean, my whole team will vote on sours. It's kind of like the hip new thing right now.
Well, we're excited to see you guys play tonight. I think seeing an all-girls team, you're the only all-girls team playing this year. So, kudos to you guys for coming out and being part of the event. And each year we strive to have more and more females. And last year I think we had about 15 girls teams. So, we love seeing you guys out there.
Thank you so much.
This morning we had our first shift and our first full day here. So we're excited to talk to all the captains and share, why they play and why it's important for them to be a part of the event.
Yep.
And the first one very well.
Yep. Paulie Z, as I call him, a good friend of mine, played this morning. I got a chance to interview him. It was a lot of fun. Same thing along with like Morgan's group. These guys have been playing forever together. They're a little bit older than you guys, so it's been a little bit longer. And they're just, what doesn't matter if it's ball hockey or wherever it is. And they get out here and they have fun. And, of course, there's a lot of jabbing back and forth. And it's just, it's hockey regardless. So we're going to watch a little video or an interview that I did with Paulie Z earlier today. So we're just catching up with my buddy Paulie Z here. First game of the morning.
No problem.
Beautiful day out at Riverworks. And so, Paulie, let me know what's your initial thoughts after getting done with the your concrete session.
Mike, we couldn't ask for a better day, and I know, as you know, it was probably a big panic session when everybody was dropping out or not sure what they were going to do about not playing an ice game or what they were doing, but our guys stepped up, We had probably a good percentage of our guys still wanted to play, and there still was a cause that we were concerned about, and we wanted to participate. We didn't want to let it go. And,
Yeah, we appreciate that. At first everybody's a little skeptical, but I'll tell you what, we played last night. It was a ton of fun. Getting the guys together, it's more, it's just about as much about that it is the hockey, and it kind of brings you back to your roots, doesn't it? I mean, you and I both grew up on the east side of Buffalo. I'm sure we played a little street hockey.
Oh gosh, Mike, we can go back. Houghton Park Hockey League, Fillmore, Bailey area. I didn't realize until we played later on in our careers that we were neighbors and we had family friends and a lot of mutual concerns. And hockey is universal for everybody, and it's so funny we come together like this. And as you know, we have our weekend skates with the Earth Skate, with the Media All-Stars, our FHL guys, which was the group that played today. Everybody comes together for a common cause, and we all love hockey. So what more can you ask than that,
So just talk a little bit about maybe how we've met and our little bit of our history with hockey, and then as it rolled into the power play. Can you just talk a little bit about that? And then after that, some of the group that you have, like what's the connection?
Okay, well, as you know, we came together with Jimmy Fink's Media Skate, and that's like a big agglomeration of all different kinds of hockey players and cultures. I mean, we have engineers, lawyers, doctors, laborers. Everybody comes together to play hockey, and he really put together a good group. And the group we have here is very similar to that way. It's the FHL All-Stars is really meant a Friday afternoon hockey league. It was a group of DOT state workers that came together and played at the Pew. And again, you had guys that were supervisors, guys that worked in the field. Everybody came together to play hockey, and we'd get together on a Friday afternoon, and it emerged. I mean, some of these guys have been together almost 30 years. So, and same thing, Mike, with us. I mean, I don't know how long the Media All-Stars has been going, but probably 15, 20 years. I don't know. Maybe I'm stretching a little bit, but as you can see, different groups come together, and what you and Amy have done taken all these groups that have come together and make it even a bigger family. You know, we all have our reasons for doing this. I mean, hockey is a big thing, but the bigger thing is about the cancer and fighting it and for the cure. I mean, I lost my dad in 2006 from leukemia. Lost my mother-in-law in 2010. You can share a similar story.
Thank you, Paulie. I know that it means a lot to you. When we did our first event, the world record event, I asked a lot of the guys that we skate with on the weekends to do it. You were one of the first ones that stepped up and said, I'd love to do it. You knew it wasn't going to be easy. Ultimately, you had some responsibilities that you attend to. You couldn't do it. But I remember very vividly asking you at Tim Hortons on Maple, and you came to me and said, Michael, I'd love to do it. It means so much to me. And obviously, it's something that you're passionate about. So we share your passion, and you know, I appreciate you guys being involved from the community shift day one. You guys put a team in, and you've been here ever since. Even with ball hockey, you stepped through it. So I really appreciate you guys staying involved.
I so did want to participate in the first 40 with the group and everything, and just couldn't do it. But I didn't want to let it go either, you know. And I was so glad the next year when you came up with the community shift idea to get everybody involved, and one way to have a vested right of playing and you know, following a goal with raising funds and doing something to help everybody else. Hockey players are the most generous people in the world, as you know, and we stick together with each other. We help each other out, and that's what it's all about. And you've just highlighted it the way you guys have developed over the past couple of years. Every year has gotten better and better. I mean, I don't know how you do it every year, but you top it. And even this year, we're playing ball hockey, so what? It's still the major event that everybody looks forward to now. Just like the Ride for Roswell, all the annual events in Buffalo, this is a staple. And our guys are going to come back every year. And I know it's going to be more addictive, and people are going to join. You're going to get more people. And I just can't thank you guys enough for what you're doing and how you streamlined it into just one great event for everybody.
Thank you. We very much appreciate that. You're an amazing friend, and I appreciate our friendship. What do you think of? I want to ask you, maybe just tell the people that are listening what this experience is about, because I think some people maybe have a apprehension about playing ball hockey, but you guys were having a hell of a lot of fun out there, and I think I'd like you to speak to that. And by the way, what do you think about the jerseys?
I think the jerseys are cool. I hear you guys are using different colors for every game. That was quite the surprise. I saw the opening ceremony last night, and I think it personalizes every community shift. I mean, it's just like the city and you know, our region. Neighborhoods are different, towns are different, and our groups are different. But really, it's common. You know, we have a common thing of hockey, and to be apprehensive, I think that lasts for only a little while. I'm wondering how it's going to come about. But once you're out there with friends and people you know, it all goes away. You get back to the basics of like when you were a kid, just going out on the ice and playing hockey and not worrying about anything else. None of the politics are here. None of that stuff. We're on the ice with friends, and then we're in the court with friends. It doesn't matter. It's all a focused event, and we're glad to be part of it.
Thank you. Well, in summary, I very much appreciate not only our friendship, but your involvement with this, and you being a captain of the team. It's not easy. You got to herd the guys. You got to be their leader, and you've done a great job. So I really appreciate it. So on behalf of Amy and I, thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael and Amy. I can't thank you guys enough either, and it's going to continue and only grow more and more.
Really great catching up with Paulie there. He's such a good guy. We were both Polish kids from the east side, grew up not far from each other, didn't know each other, but now we've connected later in life. We play hockey all the time, so it was really great to catch up with him and his team. And we're gonna show some highlights from them playing earlier today. They had a lot of fun.
So we're just catching up with my buddy Paulie Z here. First game of the morning. Beautiful day out at Riverworks. And so Paulie, let me know what's your initial thoughts.
Mike, we couldn't ask for a better day, you know, and I know, as you know, that it was probably a big panic session when everybody was not sure what they were going to do about not playing an ice game, but our guys stepped up, you know. We had probably a good percentage of our guys still wanted to play, and there still was a cause that we were concerned about, and we wanted to participate. We didn't want to let it go.
At first, everybody's a little skeptical, but I'll tell you what, we played last night. It was a ton of fun. Getting the guys together, it's more, you know, it's just about as much about that it is the hockey, and it kind of brings you back to your roots, doesn't it? I mean, you and I both grew up on the east side of Buffalo. I'm sure we played a little street hockey.
Oh gosh, Mike, we can go back. Houghton Park Hockey League, Fillmore, Bailey area. I didn't realize until we played later on in our careers that we were neighbors and a lot of mutual concerns. And hockey is universal for everybody, and it's so funny we come together like this. The group we have here is the FHL All-Stars. It's really meant a Friday afternoon hockey league. It was a group of DOT state workers that came together and played at the Pew. And again, you had guys that were supervisors, guys that worked in the field. Everybody came together to play hockey. And some of these guys have been together almost 30 years. So as you can see, different groups come together. And what you and Amy have done, taking all these groups that have come together and make it even a bigger family, you know. We all have our reasons for doing this. I mean, hockey is a big thing, but the bigger thing is about the cancer and fighting it and for the cure. I mean, I lost my dad in 2006 from leukemia, lost my mother-in-law in 2010. You can share a similar story.
Thank you, Paulie. I know that it means a lot to you. From the community shift day one, you guys put a team in, and you've been here ever since. Even with ball hockey, you stepped through it, so I really appreciate you guys staying involved.
I so did want to participate in the first 40 with the group and everything, and just couldn't do it, but I didn't want to let it go either, you know, and I was so glad the next year when you came up with the community shift idea to get everybody involved and one way to have a vested right of playing and you know, following a goal with raising funds and doing something to help everybody else. Hockey players are the most generous people in the world, as you know. That's what it's all about, and you've just highlighted it the way you guys have developed over the past couple of years. Every year has gotten better and better. I mean, I don't know how you do it every year, but you top it. And even this year, we're playing ball hockey, so what? It's still the major event that everybody looks forward to now. I can't thank you guys enough for what you're doing.
Thank you. I very much appreciate that. You're an amazing friend, and I appreciate our friendship. As the 7:30 shift is getting underway here, you know, we just heard that Morgan's team raised over $10,000, which is incredible. So they're being introduced right now. We're going to talk a little bit about AdPro Sports Team's colors. So we talked yesterday about raising awareness to all different types of cancers that affect people in our community. Tonight, the girls are wearing black for melanoma, and the other team is wearing white for lung cancer. Tonight we're also going to talk to the doctors at Roswell Park about both cancers and learn why, you know, it's important to educate the community. So we're excited to do that.
Yeah, yesterday we did the and the game is just about to get underway here. Just waiting for the puck to drop. We got our good friend Nate out there directing traffic. Yeah, you were talking about the colors. Today's black for melanoma and white for lung cancer. That's it's a very personal subject for us. My mom unfortunately died of lung cancer, so today is a day that it's just a reminder. And yesterday was all cancers. The colors are great, and we'll see what tomorrow holds. The teams that are playing tomorrow, we don't know what they are just yet, so it'll be interesting to see. Let's take a look at the girls playing here. Some of these girls played on the Buffalo Buttes, Buffalo professional hockey. There's Mark Leonard, original 40 guy who's out there reffing today. I believe
he played last night.
He played last night. Yeah, his daughter. I think his daughter's playing. Mark's a big hockey guy. He does a lot of officiating, off-ice officiating. He's also a softball coach, so he's always around sports and all-around good guy.
I think 80% of our original 40 players are roughing games these next 11 days, which is
yours truly included.
Yeah, you'll get thrown into a few.
So while these girls get ready to go, we'll just hopefully the game gets underway here in a minute. I think they're sizing each other up. No, we'll keep it clean, girls. No hitting.
I love watching them skate. I'm so disappointed.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah,
they're so good.
Not be able to see them doing that this year, but street hockey will be. They're so fast, you know. Like, I was super impressed. I've always wanted to learn how to ice skate, so I guess I'm a little jealous.
Well, one of the coolest things about the community shift is we always intended it to be kind of a, representation of everybody, boys, girls, women, men, and it didn't start out that way, and now it's evolved into all ages, genders, and it's.
And I made a mistake earlier. We have another all-women's team playing.
Right. The
Sabrettes.
Yep, the Sabrettes, and also Stampede. Cheryl Dubinsky. Yep. So this isn't all. They have the whole ice here, but then there's two other women's teams that are playing each other later in the event.
World's Largest Disco is sponsoring Pine Riders A. Clean MD is sponsoring Pine Riders B.
Clean MD, new relationship with them. They sanitize everything between shifts, and they come in, do a great job.
They're here before I get up in the morning.
Yeah. They walked in early this morning, and they're here all day. They're really great.
I didn't sleep very well last night.
Yeah.
The trains. One thing that was awesome was the smell of Cheerios.
Yeah, we went to bed, and it's been so hot. It was actually nice. It was pretty cool night in our wonderful abode that we'll see a little bit later. We have a cribs tour of the RV that's been donated to us very graciously.
I've learned all about the Cribs show on MTV.
Cribs.
I've never watched that, but apparently we're in a similar situation.
Let's watch these ladies play a little bit. having a blast out there, per usual. They're so good. Love to see them play and having fun.
We're really excited to raise awareness to melanoma cancer, and I learned that melanoma cancer is the most common type of cancer for people aged 25 to 29.
Wow.
I was up close and personal talking to Dr. Mark Ernstoff at Roswell Park a couple weeks ago, and boy, did I learn a lot. So we're going to send it off to Dr. Ernstoff. Hi, Dr. Ernstoff. Thank you so much for joining us today and helping us raise awareness to melanoma cancer. Can we start by just letting us know a little bit about yourself, where you're from?
I'm the chair of the Department of Medicine and the senior vice president for clinical investigation here at Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. And I oversee a lot of different aspects of clinical research as well as patient care.
Could you tell us about melanoma? What is melanoma?
So melanoma is a form of skin cancer. There are 3 major forms. There are many minor forms, but there are 3 major forms most people have heard of. Squamous cell cancer of the skin, basal cell cancer are the most common. And then there's melanoma. Melanoma is probably the most serious of the cancers because of their risk for spread, even when they're small. And so it's important for people to recognize that. All 3 cancers are related to sun exposure and UV light exposure. So because you're in the sun, it doesn't mean you will get cancer, but it increases your risk significantly and is a modifiable risk factor. So it's the things that we recommend to people to wear sun block, to be aware of the sun, to not go to tanning salons, to decrease their risk. Family history is also important. So if you have a blood relative that had a melanoma, you're at increased risk. So those individuals clearly need to keep a closer eye on their skin.
What can someone do if they think they have melanoma?
So the signs of melanoma are typically called the A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so it's a spot on your skin that's asymmetrical. It has a fuzzy border. It has different colors. And it's usually about 5 millimeters in size or larger, though they can be smaller. And the E is for evolving. So a mole that is changing or a mole that is itching should bring your eye to it and be aware of that. Most people don't know is that when you're born, you don't have any moles. And if you look at our grandparents, they have a lot of spots, but they don't have a lot of moles. So moles are actually acquired over time, and they are a response to sunlight. And moles usually change very slowly, so we're not even aware of them. So moles that are changing quickly, and as I mentioned, moles that are itching usually refers to inflammation. So inflammation is your body telling you that they don't like that mole. So that should bring your attention to it.
Is there a certain area of the body that's more dangerous than other areas to have melanoma?
So melanoma can occur at all areas, including areas where the sun doesn't shine, but it's typically seen on the sun-exposed areas. So there's a form of melanoma that's typically on your face, laryngomalignant melanoma, and then they're typically on the trunk and the extremities. And there are different distributions between men and women. Women more likely on their extremities, men more likely on their trunk.
And you mentioned you're involved with research here at Roswell. How important is it for the community to support Roswell Park with donations to support that research?
For those that are not aware of how research is funded, the research monies that we get from the government are directed funds. They have to be used in a certain way. And they typically don't always allow you to take on a project that might be high risk, maybe truly a breakthrough. Philanthropic money is not directed. And so those dollars that come to us are worth literally their weight in gold, because we can use those dollars, take our imagination and our creativity, and really explore different avenues that might be true breakthroughs for cancer therapy.
What is the most exciting thing for you to have seen here at Roswell Park in your department? Is there anything exciting that was a breakthrough that really got you excited?
So there are many investigators in my department doing a lot of different research in a lot of different areas. There's a significant footprint at Roswell, as well as other places, of harnessing your body's immune system to fight cancer. It's been in the news. A lot of people are pretty excited about it. Your immune system is very complex. There's a lot of levers on it that make it active or shut it down. And understanding those levers of what stimulate it and what shut it down are critical. And the research that's going on at Roswell and in the Department of Medicine are looking at how to manage those levers, turn them on, and the ones that you need turned on, the ones that stimulate your immune system, and how to turn the ones that break the immune system off. And so there's a number of investigators that are looking at a whole bunch of series of combinations of agents to do that. In addition, there is an area that's called synthetic immunity. So that's where you actually take genes and insert those genes into your immune cells and change those immune cells to do what you would like them to do. And there's a Center for Immunotherapy here led by Dr. O'Dunsey, and they're very much involved with that synthetic approach to do that. Phil McCarthy in the bone marrow transplant program oversees the clinical part of that, because these patients can get pretty sick. They need to be managed very carefully. They have certain toxicities that are unique to that therapy. So you need a real team of experts to manage that, and that team probably represents 20, 30 people that you'll never meet working behind the scene to make that therapy available to you.
So cancer has been treated historically with chemotherapy, and immunotherapy is something that is either treated, along with chemotherapy, or can cancer be treated with just immunotherapy?
So if you go back historically, you got to go back to the turn of the 19th to the 20th century, when one of the first therapies that we developed was radiation therapy, which is still used today, very different than the old days. And there's a lot of work going on because radiation therapy can actually modify your immune system as well. The second was the breakthrough with chemotherapy, which are drugs that modify how cells divide, either by blocking their nutritional pathways or their dividing pathways. And that has certain level of success. We can cure patients with testicular cancer with chemotherapy. So chemotherapy has a significant role in many cancers. Immunotherapy has a long forgotten history. I've been doing immunotherapy for 40 years, so it was a time when people sort of laughed at you. So the newest approaches are what are called targeted therapy and immunotherapy. So targeted therapy, we now recognize that there are certain growth pathways that are changed in cancer cells, so they're always on. So they're always telling the cancer cell to grow. Once you identify the protein that makes that happen, it's a mutated protein, a changed protein, we can create drugs to block that. So those drugs are being used in lung cancer, in melanoma, in leukemia, in lymphoma. There's a whole series of targeted therapy. The last of the foundation is immunotherapy. So, and that really was a breakthrough in the last decade when we began to understand that just trying to fuel the immune system, stimulating it wasn't enough. There were very, very powerful brakes. And it was taking these brakes off that unleashed the immune system to cancer. And the two individuals won Nobel Prizes 2 years ago for identifying those pathways, and we've been able to leverage those pathways to do that. So immunotherapy is used with chemotherapy in lung cancer. It's used with targeted therapy in melanoma. It's used with radiation therapy. So it can be used either on its own or in combination with other
amazing.
therapies. It's a very exciting time.
And from what I hear, is immunotherapy less side effects for patients? Is it a little bit easier for treatment?
So I'm smiling because immunotherapy has a completely different universe of side effects. They are very different than chemotherapy side effects or radiation side effects. So while on one hand they're remarkably well tolerated, these immune checkpoint inhibitors, those are the ones we're talking about, because the cellular therapy is a whole different ball of wax. But the immune checkpoint inhibitors are generally well tolerated, but there is this constellation of side effects that are related to taking the brakes off your immune system. So if you go back and think about how the immune system recognizes your own body when you were developing in utero and first years of life, your immune system is looking at you and saying, this is me. So we get rid of those parts of the immune system that recognize you, so we don't have autoimmunity. That process is not complete. So we all have a few immune cells that can recognize ourselves. They have the same brakes. So when we take the brakes off the immune system, you can develop autoimmune side effects. Rheumatoid arthritis, immune hepatitis, immune colitis like Crohn's disease. And these side effects are typically rare, but can be pretty severe. So and they can occur at any time. It's not like chemotherapy where you get a drug and a week later you're having side effects. These side effects can occur almost at any time, so we've got to keep a close eye on them.
Amazing. You know, immunotherapy just seems so exciting to me, and I'm sure a lot of people in our community. Yeah. So recently, Roswell Park was ranked number 14 in the entire United States in cancer care. How exciting is that for you?
So I think there are two ways of evaluating cancer centers. Okay, one is the National Cancer Institute provides a grant to about 45 cancer centers in the country that are NCI designated. Roswell Park was one of the first to be granted that many years ago. We've continued to do very well on that, and it's a source of great pride because it provides it provides the public the understanding that Roswell Park is very deep in its care as well as its research, because otherwise you don't get that designation. The ranking 14 is in the U.S. World News Report, and that has many components to it, but it reflects our effort in patient care. It reflects our commitment to patient care. It reflects our commitment to research, and it reflects our reputation around the country, if not the world, of the quality of care that's being conducted here. So it's a source of great pride to know that we're not just in the top 50, but in the top 14.
Well, congratulations. It's an amazing...
A lot of work by a lot of people.
Yes, a lot of people, earn that, and thank you for all you do. Just recently, the 11-day power play has just reached $5 million in raising funds in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of hockey players that do play in this event. They fundraise all year long, and they train to play a 3-hour shift. Do you have any message for them?
The message is stay safe, play honestly, keep up the great work to support us. We support you, and we really appreciate everything they do.
Thank you, Dr. Ernstoff.
Thank you.
Dr. Ernstoff is an incredible man who's working so hard at Roswell Park. So thanks to him for spending some time with me. So when we decided to, bring the 11-day to people in their homes, we didn't quite have any experience with broadcasting, nor did we have any time to really prepare. So we mentioned yesterday that we created a stuck bucket that is sponsored by Crowley Webb. We're going to meet Matt Lowe later, who's going to talk more about Crowley Webb and all that they do and how they've supported us. But really, we're just going to pull questions out of here to help us get through those times that we get stuck. So
that was one of them.
Let's see what this one says. What is Mike's... Oh, jeez. What is Mike's worst hockey injury? And what was Amy's reaction to it? All those wives out there that, or girlfriends that boyfriends or husbands play hockey know.
Well, let's do it this way. I've had many injuries, including a missing tooth right now, but one of them that I can remember, which sticks out in my mind that I tell the story often, is you can give your own reaction. How's that?
Sure.
You want to do that?
Sure.
All right. So we had little kids, probably 1, 2, and 4, 5 or something like that. The kids were little. And, of course, I wanted to play hockey with my buddies on some random, Tuesday or Wednesday night. So I go out and play hockey at, 11 o'clock at night. And as luck would have it, I got blasted in the foot pretty bad. And by the time I left, I thought I was okay. By the time I left, drove home, and I could barely walk. So I get out of the car, and I'm literally limping. I get into the house, and I could not put pressure. I thought my foot was broke. So at this point, it's probably 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm I'm literally crawling up the stairs because I couldn't walk, and I look up, and I'd woken you up, and I see at the top of the stairs looking down. Do you remember what you said? You're like, what happened? I'm like, I think I broke my foot. You remember what you said?
Take yourself to the hospital. Take yourself to the hospital.
You're like, the kids are little, they're sleeping. Drive yourself to the hospital. I'm not leaving. So I did.
I mean, I think you were a little dramatic.
I don't know.
I don't know that you were really hurt. There was nothing broken.
Well, I went to the hospital.
I know, but x-rays.
Thank goodness nothing was broken.
Yeah, x-rays came out fine. You were fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's a funny story. Yeah, let's see what's going on at the game over here. The girls are having fun. I hear them badgering each other a little bit, so that's always good. All right, so we randomly pulled a player off the bench here. Can you tell us your name, young lady?
Jackie Held.
Jackie, welcome. Thank you for joining us. So we put you on the spot here. So you're on live stream across the world.
Okay.
No pressure.
No, none at all.
So we talked to Morgan earlier, and she said that the girls been playing. Is this a regular group that you play with?
Yes.
And where do you guys typically play?
So I used to play with a couple of these girls at Kaz Hockey. And I also play some beer league hockey with a couple other girls. So everyone comes from everywhere.
Awesome. And have you played in the power play before?
No, I haven't. This is my first year.
Oh, so you're looking forward to playing on the ice, and you got stuck with
Yeah.
hockey. But you know what? Isn't it great though to have the camaraderie and just playing with the girls and having fun?
Yeah, I definitely just like to see them. It's not always about playing hockey. It's just about getting together.
And why is it important for you to participate in tonight's game?
Well, so 2 years ago, I found out that my childhood best friend was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. I also had grandparents pass from cancer, and my aunt has ovarian cancer. So, like always and with other people, this hits home to some people. And, I'm here supporting what I can do and playing hockey while doing it.
Well, thank you very much. Your team has raised over $10,000, which is amazing. So we really appreciate you girls playing. There's only 3 teams of women, and we want to continue growing that. So it's really important that you play, and thank you so much. It's been great. Anything you want to talk about the game so far?
It's funny. A lot of us have fallen. I'm waiting for myself to fall, but I'm trying to play careful. And it's really hot, so But the falling's funny. I mean, just here to have a good time,
Cool. 2-1 game, tight game. Did you score?
No, I have not.
Are you a forward or D?
I've been playing D.
Okay. Are you typically a D?
Yes, I can play anywhere but goalie.
Well, smartest players are defense.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
Who's winning, by the way? Is your team winning?
I think so.
Yeah, it's only 2-1.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck the rest of the way. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thank you.
Have fun.
Thanks.
Game started at 9:30 a.m. and we caught up with some players throughout the games. And here's the players log presented by New Era Cap.
Well, right now we're losing 4-2, but the energy and the excitement around this is just spectacular. I'm so proud of all these guys, especially our top fundraisers who stepped up this year under the pandemic, and we're able to raise as much money as they were. I'm really excited the team was able to reach our $10,000 goal, and the whole campaign reached $1 million, and that's just tremendous.
The camaraderie that you feel playing with these guys week in, week out, tournaments. You know, we know about each other's families. We get together and have events outside of hockey too, but to be able to do an event like this with your friends and family in some instances, it means a lot, and you know, we're very proud to be a part of this event.
It's about the cause. It's about, hey, you know, doing this with a bunch of my friends, and you know, we skated for 20 years together, so it didn't matter if it was ice or floor. We're here to represent you know, everything that's good about the city and an awesome fundraising cause. So.
It was a wonderful experience. I haven't played ball hockey like this since I was a kid, so it was a little bit of a throwback, but we're a lot older now, so we felt it, you know, every step of the way. I used muscles I haven't used in weeks.
Well, I'm a lot faster on skates than I am on the floor, for sure.
Never played. I've been playing with these guys for, you know, over 20 years probably, and it's always been ice hockey. So some of the guys that you're maybe used to skating past, suddenly they can keep up with you on the in sneakers. But I still fell down quite a bit today.
My son and I, Andrew and I, are playing for my Aunt Helen. She passed away in 2018 from a multitude of different cancers, and her memory is definitely in our thoughts today.
First and foremost, my mother-in-law passed away of ovarian cancer. Playing for her, I'm playing for my uncles who have passed away.
To be able to do an event like this with your friends and family in some instances, it means a lot, and you know, we're very proud to be a part of this event.
The Lezakowskis and the 11-day power play team that put this event together has just been absolutely outstanding. This is probably as best an event as you could have put together under the circumstances.
Our next guest is the Vice President of the Children's Hospital of Buffalo Foundation, our good friend, Mr. Andrew Bennett. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you, Mike. Amy, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight and taking the time out of your busy day. We always like to ask, you know, where are you from and why do you do what you do?
Absolutely. So I'm a Buffalo boy, born and bred in the town of Tonawanda. Went away for college, and like many, I came back. I went to escape the cold, but returned for you know, friends and family, and now settled with 2 little kids. Actually, tomorrow's my little guy's 7th birthday.
Happy birthday.
You ask why I do what I do. It's for many years I've been involved with nonprofits and trying to give back, whether that's through coaching or mentoring or whatever it might be. And children are the greatest asset any community has, and I've always tried to surround myself with organizations that help make kids better, one way or another. And I was very fortunate to land at Oishei Children's Hospital, which, when you think about a place that you know, cares for the sickest kids in the region, there's no better fit for me and my both personal and professional life, and my mission as a professional and as a father and a husband, and making kids better. That's what we do each day.
Awesome. And you work for the foundation at Children's Hospital. Could you tell us a little bit about what the foundation does for the hospital?
Absolutely. So really our mission is to provide resources and awareness to the doctors, nurses, all the caretakers of the hospital, and continue to advance the level of care that they're able to provide for the babies, the moms, and the kids that we see, 200,000 plus a year. It's an extraordinary number, all 8 counties of western New York, and even into northern Pennsylvania. So we do that through generous individuals, grants, special events like this, and the generosity of our community, and everything in between. So it's a really cool role, and I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by incredible professionals over at the hospital.
Now, the pandemic has been just, I mean, it's really affected our community. It's clearly affected Children's Hospital. How has your team, you know, transitioned to support the hospital during this time?
Sure. Well, it's gone in waves for sure. At first, it was kind of shell shock, like everybody. But we immediately responded and thought, how can we best help the frontline workers, because they're the ones really knee deep in this. They're caring for the sickest of the sick during this. So we leaned on many of our corporate partners, many food vendors, and we created a meal program for the entire system, ourselves and the Adult Foundation. And by the end of it, a couple months, we delivered over 60,000 meals to all the staff at all of the hospitals. PPE, protective equipment, certainly leaning on our board and other volunteers in the community. But we really kind of had to rethink what our role was for that time, because we certainly weren't having events. We weren't raising money in the same way that we were. We did set up a COVID response fund and did pretty well with that. But it was definitely a test of will, a test of creativity, and I'm incredibly proud of my team and certainly the team at the hospital, who I'm not sure they slept. I still don't think they're sleeping over at the hospital. Day in, day out. The doors don't close; it's always open.
Right. Now, the 11-day power play this year is supporting children's and an important collaboration. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that collaboration.
Absolutely, I'm happy to. We're incredibly lucky to have what we're calling the Roswell Park Oishei Children's Hospital joint venture program for kids with cancer and blood disorders in our region. It's really putting together the best of the best. You have a nationally recognized cancer institute, a nationally recognized children's hospital, and you have medical experts and people with the biggest hearts you'll ever find on both sides. And now, with us being on the medical campus, we're able to do things in a much different way than we were prior when then Women and Children's Hospital wasn't on the campus. And it has just created an incredibly unique partnership. We see partnerships like this across the country, but now we're able to do it. We're able to do it right here. So you don't have to leave Buffalo. If you're a parent, God forbid, if you're a parent who has a child with cancer, you can get everything right here. So you don't have to leave. You don't have to go through that stress and that anxiety. You're going through enough stress and anxiety, as we know. But we've been able to, have some big wins. We've done almost twice as many bone marrow transplants, which is the training of nurses is a portion of where the funds from what you guys are doing for us this year are gonna go help. And just increasing the psychosocial activity, the psychologist support, combining the child life teams on both sides. So all the inpatient care at Children's and the outpatient care at Roswell. It's just it's a perfect match, and we're really lucky to have what we have in this community.
So we're just going to take a little look here at some of the shots from Children's here. So the 12th floor.
12th floor, yep. The Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation unit up there on 12. It is the top of the hospital, so best view in the city, in my opinion. Of course, I'm a little bit biased.
Slightly.
But you're looking at a space here that is state of the art. From an environmental standpoint, special air filtration. Obviously, the kiddos up there are very immunocompromised. That has led to many of the new therapies and the new programs we've been able to provide on an inpatient side because of how this was designed. With these kids in mind. We have a playroom there that you saw. Every patient room has an exterior view, so nobody wants to be there, but if you are, at least you get that view. Down on the 5th floor, we have the Family Support Center, and the hospital was really designed with the family in mind. We've been through it. It's very bright. It's very therapeutic. In fact, it sometimes feels like there's no one there. It's so quiet. Now, if I ever said that to a doctor or a nurse, they would look at me like, don't jinx us. But during the meal program that I mentioned, I went up to 12. It was a late night, so we would do lunch and dinner shifts for the overnight folks. And like I said, there wasn't much going on. Our census actually got quite low once elective surgeries were gone. But it was when I got onto the unit. I think I had a bag of sandwiches or a tray of sandwiches, but I wasn't expecting to really see anyone or anything. And the sun was setting, so the light was coming in from the west, looking towards the lake. And the minute I walked in the unit, I saw this little girl with her IV walking down the hall, maybe 3 years old. And it was just, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I tried to take a picture. She was far down the hall. But I sent it to my team, and I said, this is just a reminder that despite everything going on around us, you know, yes, people are sick, and there's lots of tragedies happening. These kiddos are still here. And as you have said time and time again, you know, cancer doesn't stop. And it doesn't. But that was just that certainly as a parent, but as a professional in this field, seeing that little kiddo there, it warmed my heart that we have what we have, and that despite everything going on, she was still getting the absolute best care for her illness. You know, that's happening every day, and we have incredible people that are pouring their hearts out to make these kids better.
I mean, the collaboration is really, two amazing, you know, hospitals that can actually collaborate, you know, ultimately keeping families local, not having to travel far away, but also the research, you know, the treatments are changing every day. So, you know, to partner up with the Cancer Hospital is just, I mean, it's amazing. It
is. It's the best of both worlds. You have on, you know, certainly the Roswell side, years and years and years of expertise on new therapies, new interventions. You know, how are we working with kids that are, and families for that matter. It's the whole family, right? You have a sick child, it's not just the child. It's, you guys know as parents, if you have a sick child, it's everybody that is around them and kind of their ecosystem. Combined with all the subspecialties that Children's has, you put those two things together, and there really isn't a problem we can't solve.
Amazing. As a person that's grown up in Buffalo, Andrew, are you a hockey fan?
I am a hockey fan. I grew up playing hockey for the Tonawanda Lightning, just up until about high school. And then other sports took over my life, but I loved it. Oh, did I love it. I was a winger. So much fun.
And we were hoping to get you out there this year.
Well, you're more likely to get me out there like this than on the skates. But no, I love to skate. I grew up, as I said, in the town of Tonawanda, and we had a tennis court across the street. And one year it froze over, about 2 inches thick, and it was like a dream come true, right? This is the Pat LaFontaine, you know, Mogilny days.
Yeah. Late 80s.
Go over there. I don't think I went to sleep. It just was. It was so much fun. But yeah, I had a chance to play in intermission one time down at the Odd, and
cool.
Yeah, hockey's an incredible sport, and as we've seen through what you guys have done the last few years, it's a perfect way to bring people together around an incredibly important cause. And all those things I've mentioned about the hospital and the room and the care, it does not happen without community support. So I can't thank you both enough, and the thousands of donors and volunteers that put this on. We are truly grateful and very fortunate to be a part of it this year.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we're going to watch the Sean McCrone video that was produced for 2019. Our families are so affected every day in our community, and this video really shows family.
I'll never forget it. It was a Friday. He went for his yearly, and I got a phone call from my mom around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and she said, "Sean, in tears, you got to head over to Miller Fillmore. Dad's here." My dad had been walking around with stage 4 cancer, softball-sized tumor in his stomach, and here he is thinking it's just a kidney stone. There we are, kind of sitting there as a family, and it just hits you like a freight train. You kind of start to reflect and realize that you've gone through life real easy, and now all of a sudden it's like, what are you going to do? Why is this happening? My daughter wasn't more than a month old. My dad just became a grandfather. There's so many things that we kind of had lined up, and all of a sudden it just hits you. My name is Sean McCrone, and I'm playing for my dad. That's what I think is so beautiful about the community shift. Hockey's always been like the biggest passion for me. I've loved the game since I was a little kid. I've had the ability to play on a competitive level pretty much my entire life. And my dad always stood on the second floor in the arena on the balcony, kind of on the left-hand side of our bench. I got the whistle sometimes, and that was like the, pick it up, like, let's go. He loved seeing us play. it became our life. When my dad was sick, I continued to skate, and that was my meditation. It's like that hour I have to just kind of let go of everything. After my dad passed, it was like that one point where I just knew that it's helping me.
Here, why don't you do the sauce first? You're gonna put one on each one, okay? She's a pizza maker.
Wow. What do? We get it all over, right? Spread it around. Me do it? Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, Brittany doesn't like mushrooms, okay?
No mushrooms.
No mushrooms for Brittany.
But who does like mushrooms?
Pops.
Pops did?
Yeah.
Pops did. We always were a very strong family. I mean, we were all best friends. Everything was revolved around being together. So when my dad got sick, nothing really changed. It just kind of was magnified. And it still stays that way. The traditions are more important now. Sunday sauce.
I like mushrooms.
I do.
We often kind of find ourselves talking about the wall.
The Pops. Family.
It's a great thing to walk into. You find yourself focusing on one picture and kind of remembering that moment. It's almost like that reminder that life can get busy, but don't ever forget what's the most important piece of your life. There's nothing like your family. I keep thinking about the strength that he had shown, the kind of selfless remarks that he would make about how our family is his team and we're all in this together and we're going to get through it and it's okay. And even the day that we found out things were terminal, he worried more about us than he did himself. And that's Shamrock Strong, man. I had a good friend of mine text me that one day, who my dad made a huge impact in his life, you know, and he's like, your dad's Shamrock Strong, man. Like, it's going to be okay. And from that point on, it got wheels and it took off. It became something that I think we all embodied during his treatment and then continue to embody after he passed. But you knew our family. We walked in and out Shamrock Strong. Ultimately, we lost the battle on my dad, but there's just so many other people out there that you want this to make a difference. When you skate in the event, there's this sense of pride. All this energy put towards finding a cure is one thing, but then also bringing in this community of people. Everybody's been touched in some way, shape, or form with a battle. That's what the community shifts is all about. I heard this quote, and I think about it a lot when I think of him. Just be 1% better than you were yesterday. Every single time I walk into the rink, he runs through my mind because I know that, you know, it's something he would be really, really proud of. But there's so much about him that lives on. I see so much in my daughter. You know, there's no one more important than blood. You just don't know when your clock is going to end. I think about it a lot. Every time I get to put my daughter to bed or give my son a bottle, for whatever reason, something reminds me of him. It goes back to the impact he made on me, how amazing I think he was, and I just hope to God my kids think the same of me. Thank you for everything, the impact that you made on our lives, and the impact that you continue to make on our lives. I love you, Dad.
Cannot be broken. So donations obviously support, you know,
Yep.
4 amazing beneficiaries.
Roswell Park,
Camp
Cancer
Good-
Research,
Camp Good Days,
Make-a-Wish, Western New York, and our friend Andrew Bennett just left from the Oshai Children's Hospital. It takes literally 1 minute to go to your phone or your computer, 11daypowerplay.com.
Look at the
Just
tracker.
right there. It's that simple.
we
1,017,000. If we can get to 1.1 million, I mean, we're so proud that we got to $1 million. Let's face it. It's an amazing feat in the year of 2020, which has been very challenging to say the least. But homepage, donate, amount, less than 1 minute.
Mike wants you to donate to him. Your page.
You need to donate to me because I'm going to brag for a second. Every year I've been the leading fundraiser. I am the leading fundraiser, but Bill Chef Lucas wants my title so badly. He's about $500 behind me. Please just hit donate. Find Mike Lesikowski. $1, $500, $5, I don't care. Keep me in the lead, or I'll never hear the end of it. Please,
He
please,
did
please.
tell me a secret last night.
Oh, he's sandbagging. I knew it. I knew it.
He was pressuring me. He was asking if you had anything coming in, and I said
Okay.
that you don't sandbag.
Gloves are off. Well, Bill's a great guy. Bill's team, we talked about this yesterday, and you talked to Bill live, but his team raised $92,000 this year. $92,000. It's unreal. Last year, every single of his players on both sides of the ice were power players. They were the only team on both sides of the ice that every single player that was out there was wearing power player gear. Unreal. I mean,
well, he really wants to be you.
Bring it.
So 11daypowerplay.com. I mean, you can really donate to any of your favorite players. You can go in, you can press the donate, you can scroll through, all of our players, and they would appreciate your support. But this guy over here, he'd really appreciate your support. So I think our girls are
about to start. We got Mark Leonard as the ref. Mark is one of the original guys, and he knows some of these girls through his softball coaching days and reffing days. So, of course, they're giving him the business, as they should. And away we go. 5-3. Oh. It was 2-2. I looked up, and it's 5-3.
They don't really celebrate their goals.
It's so funny watching the girls because they're so much more sportsmanlike than the boys. Like when our daughter Julia played, I coached a little bit the girls, and they take everything literally. They say, Coach, what should I do? And I say, go over there. It's like by the book, and they're so polite. If someone gets hurt, they immediately help them up. But guys are just roughnecks. So it's much more. It's a much different game, if you will. Equally enjoyable and very graceful.
Again, the world's largest disco sponsoring Pine Riders A, and Clean MD sponsoring Pine Riders B.
That last goal was scored by Miss Kristen Stolecki. Her third goal of the game. Fourth goal of the game, maybe. It was a lucky goal.
next segment, we have a very special guest, Matthew Lowe from Crowley Webb. Matt is the Senior Vice President and Creative Director at Crowley Webb.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Not to mention a Board of Director for the 11-Day Power Play, newly appointed Board of Director.
We've already put you to work.
Thank you for your service for that.
Love it.
So Crowley Webb has done many, many things from the very beginning for the 11-Day Power Play. And one of the things most recently is this: they've sponsored the Stuck Bucket. Amy and I, being the amateurs that we are, sometimes we just need to pick something out of a hat and
We're stuck.
ask about it.
We're stuck. We don't know what to ask you.
What's on there? I'm so intrigued.
So, just so happens that it's about something that's near and dear to you, I believe. Who created PD Power Play? Hey,
Look
what's
at that
up,
guy.
buddy?
You see pictures of him, you see him on social, and then when you actually see him up close and personal.
Watch
And
your water there.
He's fully masked, so
He
this
is fully
is
masked.
totally
Underneath.
COVID compliant. We can get comfy. How you doing, Petey? It's been a while.
He doesn't talk. He doesn't have a mic. He doesn't
He's
have a mic.
expressive, though.
I mean,
He's expressive.
we should really start with Petey. There's so much we need to talk to you about tonight. But
Sure,
let's
sure.
start with Petey. What was that call like receiving the request from the 11-Day
Well,
Power
as we say at Crowley Webb, we can pretty much do it all from A to Z. So when we got the call from you guys to do our very first mascot, we were. So I sat down with my art partner Daryl and my writing partner Rosalind Cardone, and we just started putting our heads together and came up with a bunch of initial sketches. Where could we take this thing? And
you were almost a Viking.
It was almost a Viking. We talked about doing the dueling ones
Yes.
and having two of them, and it was, well, how are we going to fill that every day?
I liked that idea, but I didn't like filling.
Filling two suits, but the idea of having a backstory, and one of them was going to be the evil twin, and given that whole thing. So we ended up on Petey, which was the right decision, right, pal? So we partnered with a group in Toronto to bring him to life, and every step of the way they were sending us photographs and working with Daryl on how this guy was going to come to life, and then we said we needed the mullet a little
Yeah, we didn't like his
fluffier.
hair. He didn't have a good enough mullet the first time. I remember
We
that.
need to get that lettuce a little longer and get those teeth nice and
crooked,
chiclety. So
looking like me.
Yeah. And he's great. What can you say?
Looking like Dad over
now we can say, and now we tout it as part of one of those things that we've never done, and we've done everything from sandwich boards to mascots now.
Yeah.
So and we love
and
them.
that was way down the line in terms of what you helped us out with. So maybe we should take a few steps back and
rewind all the way.
Yeah,
to
let's rewind and talk about that, because it's been a really fun ride. You guys have been just a tremendous partner, and we've had so much fun together. So let's rewind it back to where we started and where we're at.
Sure, it started. I got chills just when you brought it up, thinking all the way back. But
I know, it's the same thing.
Well, the original event was 2017.
Yeah.
But the thought of it was 2016. You
Right.
guys came into our office in June of 2016 through Trisha Barrett, who you guys had known and worked with, and she came to us and said, these guys have this wacky idea they're going to try and break the world record for the longest hockey game. And I said, okay, I'm not playing hockey, but I'll help out in any other way I can. So the first thing was you guys came in, and we had to name it because you wanted to start talking about it and hyping it a year early. So we said, okay, we're gonna come up with a name, and then we're gonna come up with a brand.
Yeah.
So the name was the first thing, and
I remember some of the names.
What do you remember?
I remember
Hockey Inferno.
No, was that Hockey Eternity?
Hockey Eternal.
Hockey
Which
Eternal
was my favorite.
Hockey Eternal.
And it was the best. It was the favorite in the meeting. And I
Yeah.
said, "Go with that." And then you guys came back with 11-Day Power Play, and I was like,
there was Hell on Ice.
But what is the truth behind you being disappointed, or not disappointed? But
I really loved Hockey Eternal. I loved all the names, and Rosalind, who again is part of our writing team, came up with 11-Day Power Play, and she was new to the agency at that point, and came into my office and said, I have the perfect name for this event. It's the 11-Day Power Play. I'm like, okay, we'll present it because you love it. But and now all these years later, I'm like, that is the perfect name, and it stood the test of time, and we've added to it. We added the community shift when we did it a year later.
Right.
And now the big save.
Yeah, also
with what's
you're
going on.
I can't imagine it being called anything else.
I can't either.
Right?
It's just so perfect. And even throwing around 11-day for short. I've just been telling people 11-day, but it still works. And the 11-day power play, I think, has really become one of those iconic brands in Western New York. So kudos to you for all the work you guys have done to bring that to life.
DPP magnets
There's that
on the
too.
cars.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
people know what that is now.
I know.
It's amazing. So we've worked together on so many things, and we're just starting. So we came to you about PD. We also came to you about.
Well, when we started with the.
Let's talk about the beer.
I thought we were going in order here because we did
chronological.
We did the name.
So much. Okay.
We did the
All right,
name.
you guys are in charge.
But the but the segue to the name right after that was it's an important one.
I was
it's
excited
the
about the beer can.
of course. But the things that go hand in hand to me are the very first things were the name, and then after that was the logo.
The logo, which again Daryl Cowling, our partner, designed, and a bunch of concept sketches, and you guys were always great. And the fact that we came up with all this fodder for uses down the road, because we did the throwback logo, which was based on one of the earlier sketches, but then it's really given us a lot of legs, the design that Daryl did. So that was the second step, and then it was coming up with outdoor executions and print ads and posters. And
Even
all
the
those
colors.
kinds of things.
We
And
chose the
and
colors very carefully.
Absolutely.
Love our colors.
And then there was a lot of hype we wanted to build up for this thing, so we thought we needed sort of a social hook that could be an iconic thing for one of those Instagram moments. So we came up with the world's longest hockey stick to go with the world's longest hockey game.
And these were all over Buffalo.
So we contacted partners all over Western New York. We had it at the zoo, and the zoo actually had, I think, the most fun with it. They took pictures with the elephant had it in its trunk, and the otters had it, but we had it at banks. We had it at car dealerships. People were taking pictures with it, so this was really iconic. And Daryl, the guy, is just so talented. Again, he came up with the logo, came up with the color palette. He actually built the stick with help from Matt McCarthy, one of our production guys.
I couldn't believe it. I thought you guys sent this project out to somebody else, and I come into your office and you showed us how you assembled it.
Well, I went to Daryl's house on, I think it was a Sunday before Memorial Day, and I helped him build the original ones, and I left and they all fell apart because I was involved. So Daryl's like, I just want to do it myself. So he did the correct ones.
I remember you gave us a couple of them. One of the knucklehead guys from the original event was like literally playing with it and it just snapped in half.
That was probably one of mine. Maybe
nobody can touch these anymore. That one's going to my basement. That one's signed by all the original guys. So that one stays with us.
That's pretty great.
That's in our basement.
Yeah.
We had to pick that up today.
Okay, now you can go with your what we're gonna talk about.
Well, are you sure it's okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the 11-day power pills, and it wasn't just the can. It was also the name.
So kind of a no-brainer to go with Power Pills. We knew it was going to be a Pilsner. You guys wanted a big seller in Western New York, and people in Western New York love their Pilsners. And I love Thin Man, so it was great. And the branding they bring to each of their labels. So that was something that Daryl played with as well. Daryl came up with the design, and I think it fits really well, not only with your brand, but the Thin Man brand as well. And those guys I know have been great partners. To the 11-day as well.
Yep.
So that was kind of a great marriage, and it's flying off shelves. I see, I'll go in and I'll see 1 4-pack still sitting there. So I know people are drinking it.
A reminder that these are available in Riverworks for these 11 days.
So there you go.
Support Riverworks.
I'll have to
heard
pick
a
up on the way
rumor
out.
the last few cases are in Riverworks now.
You gonna drink some of these? Are you old enough to drink? All right.
Well, our partnership's been, it's not. I can't overstate it. There's from the beginning, yourselves, Cover Method, Excelsior, all of our sponsors that we have are all sponsors that have been with us from the beginning and have stayed with us, and it's been really great to. And sometimes I feel like it's I get tired of saying it, but we always thought we were doing one event. And then we're going to go on our merry way and raise $1 million, and here we are. And now it feels like we would be totally remiss if we stopped this thing. Even this year. Like this year, we're watching these girls who just raised $10,000 in the worst year in our adult lives. So the fact that we're here and the fact that we have the same partners from the beginning is
And
a
every
goosebump moment.
every year that we keep going, I mean, we just go. We call you and you say, what do you need? We don't really have to ask. And, you know, I think that just shows Buffalo and the community coming together. And, I mean, you make us look amazing. And I just thought of something.
What was
we didn't
that?
talk about the billboards. Every year,
Oh yeah.
you design the billboards. Lamar graciously donates them the space, and you guys design it.
And
Any
you guys-
billboards stick out in your head? that-
Well, we had a few that were going to be launched this year when we were planning for the regular
Yeah.
community shift that featured our pal here.
Yeah.
And we had some fun times shooting him in the
Wah, wah,
woods
wah,
and in
wah.
a couple, in an attic and in a basement.
Well, we're going to save that, right? We're gonna next
So
year?
I'm not going
Okay.
to scoop it too much, but yeah, that was some of the best creative. But it's always great to work for you guys because I say it every year, like those meetings that we have with you guys are some of the best meetings we have because we always leave beaming with smiles. It always seems like it's a Friday in the morning, and it's just an
Yeah.
amazing way to enter the
Yeah.
weekend. And when Mike can't be there, we get you on FaceTime, and Amy's showing you that way and holding you up, and you clap, and it's always the best when we get to share creative. And it really has been an awesome partnership. We loved it every step of the way, and every year that we get to do new work that we're definitely proud of. And working with the partners that you've built up now with the Uplifter guys and with Clever Method year after year, like you guys just have such strong bonds. And to be part of that and be part of what you guys have done in Western New York is just feels really special. So I'd be hurt if you guys didn't continue this. So I will do everything I can to help keep it going each year.
Well, talking about those meetings, it's like Christmas morning for us. I mean, we come in and it's like we can't wait to see what Crowley Webb is presenting today.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been wonderful. Like we get compliments, and all this stuff you see, like physically. No, we raise a lot of money, of course, but they're like people don't. They like, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? And we don't do it. We have amazing people support that do it. So we thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts, and we've done it, not in private and public, but we can't say it enough. This whole thing is not just us. It's such a group of people and PD and obviously the volunteers and donors, but the stuff that people see and like the wow factor stuff, that's all you guys.
Yeah.
And it's really,
thanks for that.
It's really special, and you deserve the recognition for it.
Thanks so much.
And reason for the live stream was to really share, everything that's involved with the 11-day. It's such a community.
And it's a great story, and it's one I love telling. I'll go to colleges, and we'll do case studies about the branding, and I always tell that naming story, and the fact that you guys and everybody, the kids always know what it is. When I'm at Canisius or what have you, they call the 11 days, so that always clicks. So it's always, and you guys are an inspiration because, like you said, it could have been a one-year thing and one and done, but no, to keep carrying it on and to keep raising money that's so desperately needed for research and for the medical community here is just, you guys are such an inspiration. So
thank you.
Proud to be part of it.
11daypowerplay.com. Speaking of donations coming through, anybody can donate.
Takes 1 minute.
Mike wants.
I need to be the #1 fundraiser, please. Donate buttons on the homepage, 11daypowerplay.com. Now we're going to go check out some of the girls playing a little bit more hockey. Morgan just scored.
6 goals scored by the white team who's trying to save the comeback here. They need to get 3 more to tie. Is Savannah Kalinowski on a beautiful deflection.
are back. We are going to go to the Excelsior Orthopedics Healthy Tip of the Day. Excelsior Orthopedics has been with us since the get-go. Since 2017, they helped us get the original 40 through that
Saved my life.
that tremendous event, and they've been with us ever since, helping our players throughout their shifts. So we're going to go to the Healthy Tip of the Day.
Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Josette Fisher. I'm the Director of Sports Medicine and Wellness with Excelsior Orthopedics. I am happy to announce that we are yet again the healthcare provider for the 11-day Power Play. This week, our team of experts will be sharing with all of you, either watching online or participating during the event, 11 healthy tips to keep you safe and active.
In our first tip of our series, we're going to cover a proper warm-up. As most of you know, it's important to get your body prepared for any type of activity before going out on the ice, on the court, or on the field. At Excelsior, we tend to use a functional warm-up to start, which is as simple as running 20 yards forward and backpedaling back to your starting point, followed up by side shuffles or karaokas, essentially looking for movements that challenge all planes of the body. Once completed with those, we usually encourage our athletes to engage themselves in a series of lunges. These lunges include both a forward lunge, a side lunge, and a posterolateral lunge. Other variations are acceptable as well, as long as you're getting the legs and hips prepared for activity. The final part of most of our warm-ups includes getting core mobility.
Tell you what, I don't think Black's playing too much defense right now. I know these Terranolas just saving the day for him. He's making save after save after save. Just like in the old days, Emily. Just like in the old days. That held girl probably never played softball in her life after that little missed catch. But she's right, you can't touch the ball. She's playing by the rules, that held girl. Last minute of play in this exciting game. 3 goals you need, White. Can you do it? Birthday girl's looking for a hat trick. Whoever's on the ice can take the penalty shot after that. You guys are shooting the puck over the glass way too much, Black. Who gets to take it? Nikki? Nikki versus Emily. You ready? Hold on. Are you ready, Emily? All right, here we go. Oh! And that's it for the game. 9-7. Penalty shot goal by Nikki Birchberg, another Buffalo State graduate. Nice game, ladies.
Welcome to our second block of the night of the 4th annual 11-day Power Play. This year's the Big Save presented by Clever Method. Thank you for joining us.
And we have incredible sponsors that support our event, and we are proud of them doing that. We've got some Power Player sponsors, and Clever Method is our presenting sponsor. And you will see our Power Player sponsors. We could not do this without your support.
Thank you very much. This year's fundraising goal was $1 million. We just surpassed that yesterday. Woohoo! We're at about $1,020,000. If we can get to 1.1 million, that would be amazing this year. Go to our website, please, 11daypowerplay.com. Hit donate. It takes literally less than 1 minute. Please.
Donate to Mike.
Donate to Mike.
So we are supporting our amazing beneficiaries, Roswell Park, Make-a-Wish, Camp Good Days, and the Roswell Park and Oshai Children's Cancer and Blood Disorders Program.
And now we are happy to invite to our live stream a very good friend of ours, Mr. Greg Krause from beautiful Dunkirk, Fredonia area, where I spent a few years.
Boy, thank you, Mike and Amy. You guys do an amazing job, and to get over $1 million this year is such an accomplishment.
That's thanks to you and your team and all the players that play in the event. You got to give yourself some credit there, Greg.
Well, and obviously, as we sit here, one of our sponsors, the Montezusco Social Club, they came out early and sponsored the team, and they were willing to do so much. And again, we got stranded just like the rest of the world on trying to do anything, and certainly fundraising was one of them. We did our best. I'm real proud of the guys that are on the team. We had a couple of guys, Tommy Cocker and a couple other guys, really stood up and collected some, raised some money. It's crazy. It's a crazy time. We live in a divisive society right now with a pandemic going on. But the constant is, what was there a year ago and is going to be there a year from now is that cancer sucks.
Yep. Yep. So are you playing for someone in particular this year?
I am. It's
take your time.
We gotcha.
We brought my Janelle's dad home about a week ago from Roswell, and he's the Monty's guy. He's Mr. Monty's. He got us the sponsor. He was so supportive. He'd have loved to have been here having a beer and watching the game and doing everything. Instead, we're on the watch, and we're doing some things ourselves and trying to help others and doing the power play. And I really think that it's important that we realize that and again, Janelle, it's all you. No one fights alone. No one should have to fight alone. We need to make sure we do everything we can to make sure that not only is there research and development and all those things, but the Camp Good Days and the Ronald McDonald and just the little things that we do for each other, so that nobody is fighting alone. It's a tough day today, and it's a tougher day for Lou and Janelle and Lola and the family and Terry. They're hanging in, but know that we're playing for you. We're playing for Terry.
We know that you're a tight bunch. You came last year for the first time, and most teams, guys and girls, are local. We have some from out of town, and you guys are down the road a bit, about an hour away, Dunkirk, Ferone area. But you came in, you can tell right away that you guys are a close-knit bunch. You probably have a Tuesday or Wednesday night, whatever you do, at Steel Hall, my old stomping grounds in Fredonia. Shout out to Coach Meredith. And you guys came in with an entourage, if you will, and I could tell right away that you guys were a tight bunch.
It's a great group, and again, adversity brings you together a little more. So people are together, people know, we get it. But once again, to you guys, to everybody that's participating in this event, something of this magnitude is just so impressive to pull off, and the love and the effort that you guys put into it to help others is amazing. No one ever can give you enough credit. I know you don't want it. I know you're not looking for it, but nobody can give you enough credit for all of the people that you're going to touch. Not only our cancer victims, our cancer survivors, but their families and their loved ones and everybody that needs that help.
Well, thank you.
And this is exactly why you play in our event.
Yes.
You're part of it.
You get it.
You're back this year. You played last year.
We'll be back.
Let's talk about last year. How was the game? Was it what you expected? I know we were on the ice last year. This year we're playing.
It really was about as close. I mean, it was very nice. We play against guys that we know. Most of the guys on the other team we know as well. It was a fun game. It was a fun day. We spent some time after. We happened to play early in the morning, so we had that early shift. So we kind of all just took the whole day and enjoyed ourselves and enjoyed each other. Yeah, I can't wait to get back on the ice. But we'll do what we can, because ice, no ice, COVID, no COVID. Cancer sucks and it's going to be there.
Yeah, that's the ongoing sentiment for. Some players couldn't play this year, and we get it. It's tough. We totally understand. But the ones that have and the ones that will, it was important that they show up, whether it was playing in the middle of the street or playing here at beautiful Riverworks. So we appreciate that. And you're one of the very few that came from more than a 10-minute drive or 20-minute drive. So we really appreciate you guys doing it. And I know your heart's in the right place, and we wish you well and your family the best of circumstances.
Thank you very much, and we'll be back.
We should probably let you get ready for your game.
Thank you.
And thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Good luck out there.
Are we?
So we have cutouts this year. We couldn't have spectators. We had the opportunity to put out an alert. You can still support the event. You can send us a picture. You can send us a message to our players. And here we see them surrounded around the rink And what a special, I mean, we have animals, we have
There's a pet
grandchildren,
dog.
we have wives, we have...
There's Tammy Davis.
There's Tammy, there's Bill
There's
Holden.
Bill Holden.
Rooting for his friend.
Fans in the stands.
Fans in the stands was definitely something that, we thought of late in the game. You don't think about these
There's
things.
Chaser. What's up, Chaser?
And we quickly put this together and had at least, 50, 55 people that donated $25 to get their cutout in the stands and cheer them on. And there's Petey that we just passed. Look at that. So we talked to Keith Waldron today, who's a board member, a very good friend.
Keith and I were out just messing around on the rink during a break, and one of the guys came up and said, "Hey, let's have a little chat and talk to me about the fans in the stands," and it went pretty well.
This is what Keith has to say.
Yeah, there's a few. So I don't know if you know our story, my wife and my story. We lost our son Patrick to cancer in 2014. And really that's why I do this, and that's why she supports me in doing it. And here she is in all her beauty, right here in the corner. This is Julie. We've been involved with this since year 2. And she's as committed as I am to why we do it. So our daughter was recently married. She's actually a hematology-oncology pharmacist at the Cleveland Clinic. She works on the floor that our son was admitted to when he got sick. He was at John Carroll when he got sick. And she was married to Matt Burstein last August 24th. So what, 4 days and we're coming up on their first anniversary. On St. Patrick's Day 3 years ago, a stray dog showed up in their backyard, oddly enough on St. Patrick's Day, and he is now their pet. And this is a picture of our son-in-law, Matt, and Shadow. They're beautiful, our grand puppy, their beautiful dog who's just so full of love. He's just so much like Patrick. He's got anxiety and he's got love. He's got all those emotions going through him. And there I am. And there's a whole lot of whistlers involved in this event this year. My wife is a Whistler grandchild. Her mother was one of the 13 Whistler kids. This is the matriarch, Betty Whistler, Grandma Whistler, as she used to dress for the 4th of July celebrations at the beach, when all of her 13 kids and her 53 grandchildren and her 60-some great-grandchildren would assemble for dinner and fireworks on the beach. And this is our great friend, Karen Johnson, multi-time cancer survivor, who was with us almost every day when Patrick was in the hospital, right up to the very end. She's such a wonderful friend and such a strong, strong person, such a great influence on everybody who's been involved with this crazy disease, and she's been here from the get-go to support us. And I think that's all the people I know involved here. Well, you know, it's so much fun to be on the surface and playing, and when you get up along the boards, someone bumps you and you see a familiar face. It makes you want to keep playing harder. In spite of the cuts and bruises, I got banged up a few times yesterday in my game. But yeah, I wish more people had taken advantage of this because it's such a cool thing to do. I really wish Patrick's picture was there. Our daughter's picture's not there. I thought she sent it in, but you know, next year we'll have more. Hopefully we're back on the ice. That's where I plan to be. I've said already I'm a much better skater than I am a runner. And this is wearing out my legs.
It was great talking to Greg Krause, man from Dunkirk, Frenony area. And for the second year in a row, Greg will be playing our good buddy Steve Skrepchik. Steve is the captain of the Blackjack Bullets. Welcome, Steve. Doing well, thank you.
So, Steve.
Yeah.
You started the community shift the first year.
Right.
What brings you back every year?
Just the desire to make a difference within the community. I know my grandma passed away from lung cancer, and ever since then, it's been really important to help fund cancer research, and it's just a cause I really care about, and one that a lot of my friends have been affected by as well.
Today is white and black.
Yeah.
White is for lung cancer, and
right.
black is for melanoma. So you're playing at a time where we didn't. It's actually
Right.
I didn't know that. We didn't know that.
Right.
So it's fortuitous. So
Yeah.
that's. I'm glad it has some meaning for you.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
The theme this year is All Cancers Matter, and,
Right.
and every day is different. So that was a big surprise to everyone. Yesterday, the opening was Lavender, which is all
Yep.
cancers. You every year have a team, a roster full. How did you keep a large roster for street hockey?
A lot. I had a lot of last-minute cancellations actually, so I just reached out to friends that don't really play hockey, just
It'll be fun
to give them the experience. And I'm always hitting them up when I'm doing my fundraising. So it's been eye-opening for them to see like how much goes into fundraising, and a lot of them. I had people joining my team last week, and they managed to raise some money, and we're just gonna have some fun.
Now you couldn't really do that if we were playing ice hockey. So
No.
The fact that it's ball hockey actually has some value in that,
Yeah.
and that's actually quite a regular thing for this year because people that grew up, messing around in the street, you
Right.
can do it just like you did back then. So
Yeah.
that's actually one of the positives about going
It's
going
pretty
to the
fun, and hopefully some of my friends who only play ball hockey will start learning how to ice skate, play some ice hockey.
Yeah, well, they'll get the full experience for the 11 day if they can do that.
Yeah.
So Greg, you've played against 2 years now,
Yeah.
and how do you guys know each other?
We've started playing there's just a drop-in skate Tuesday nights at Fredonia State back home, and just kept in touch. And he saw I had done it the first year in 2017, and then last year I reached out to him, see if he wanted to do it, and he said he'd captain the team, and been going from there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you should probably go and
Yeah,
warm
I
up.
should go warm up.
Yeah, go get warmed up.
All right.
Yeah.
Have fun out
Good
there.
luck.
Yeah, I will. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep.
Have a great night.
Yep. Bye.
Thank you.
So Make-a-Wish, we added Make-a-Wish last year as a beneficiary of the event. We know that families are affected by cancer in so many different ways, and a wish we've learned this year, I mean, we've always known that these wishes were so important, but to actually, see a wish and what it does for not only the patient going through the cancer treatment, but the actual family. It's really an incredible experience for us to meet a family that received a wish, and we got to keep the wishes going. We've been able to support more than 80 wishes in the last 2 years, and hopefully this year we can support more. Summer, who is our wish, person whose family had chosen a pool to support her during her treatment and really the side effects of treatment. She's basically using this pool every day, and here's the video.
When you raise $1, when you tell others, when you participate in our event, when you support the 11-day, as a player, as a captain, as a sponsor, just know that the money is going to a special, special place.
Well, we are going to celebrate with Summer. She is a 9-year-old. She's a little warrior, and we're really excited to celebrate with her today because she had her wish granted. It's not every day that we actually get to see children enjoying their wishes.
We've never seen a Make-a-Wish.
We don't get to do this often enough, where we, meet the kids and their families. So it's going to be exciting.
I'm so excited to meet Summer.
She wanted a pool for her wish. Water is a love of hers, and we were just really excited to go experience it with her, see her joy firsthand, along with our friends from 11-Day Power Play, as well as our wish granting volunteers who have worked with the family through the process. So
I can't wait to show the players, what their impact has been.
People always appreciate the knowing that they're raising money for a good cause, but when they really see the impact of it, it just brings it all together, and really, that's why we're doing what we're doing.
You have to meet Amy and Mike once to know how passionate they are about this, and it's important that we all see the impact of all of our efforts.
You could get lulled into just raising money and giving it to our beneficiaries, but when you really see what's going on, That's what, like...
It's important for us to meet these families, you know.
So the pool is done?
Yeah, we can go around the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's check it out.
I can't remember the name of the street.
Look at this pool. Are we allowed to jump in? More importantly, I want to meet Summer. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Summer.
How are you?
They're all here for your pool.
Oh my goodness.
Summer was born premature, and at 5 months old, she was diagnosed with AML leukemia. So she had a whole year of chemotherapy at Children's Hospital. We were in the hospital for almost that entire year. And we were just, as a family, being able to breathe. You know, the cancer is behind us. And just January of last year, she was 7. She couldn't stand up. And so I wasn't sure what was going on. I thought maybe she hurt her neck or something. She couldn't stand on her legs. So I took her to the hospital, to the oncologist, and I remember the doctor walking with a group of people towards my room, and I knew what that meant. And they said that she had cancer. And they said it was, it's rare for a new cancer, just a complete new cancer, to come back in a child. It's been a very difficult time for the family. Just getting her through the cancer at this point. She still has another 8 months to go of therapy. So that's what brings us here today. As hard as it is to go through cancer, to think, is there a bright spot? Could there be something that would make you happy? And Make-a-Wish has.
To be able to give a kid a wish gives them something to look forward to, brings a smile to their face.
Make-a-Wish does so many amazing things. That was kind of the driving force when we talked about adding beneficiaries. It affects the whole family, and Make-a-Wish helps the whole family.
And if we could give them, you know, a few minutes of not thinking about what they're, you know, currently going through, you know, that's what, you know, granting a wish is for.
The Make-a-Wish came, and we were thinking about what would make Summer happy. Like, what would be her perfect wish? She loves the water, and we thought a pool would be perfect, because not only will she have that freedom for herself, but the neuropathy and the pain that she has, just to be able to move her muscles and strengthen them.
When she finally put on her water suit and everything, she jumped in the pool, she had the biggest smile on her face.
Seeing her get in the pool for the first time and just be happy. And she got in and she was just kicking and splashing, and that's when we knew that we made the right decision.
Just to see that she's smiling and having a good time, and you know, makes you feel good that you got to be a part of it all and know that you got to like bring some happiness to her life.
You can't grant every wish for your child, but when people make donations, it changes our lives. It did, it changed our life. And to see a smile on my daughter's face, it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. And I'm at a loss for words, because I don't even know how to express how grateful I am. And to have people out there that give of their time and that care to help us, just to give a little bit of breathing room, because it's a struggle. And so I wish I can express how grateful I am.
One of the amazing things about 11 Day and Make-a-Wish is that we are both community-based organizations. We as Make-a-Wish, we raise money in our community for kids in our community. These kids, they need this support now as much as ever. For everyone in the community that goes out of their way to raise money for these kids and families and cancer warriors, it's just really amazing.
To see these kids smile, to see what they get, to make their life a little bit easier when they're going through very difficult times is so worth it. And we thank you from the bottom of our heart.
If I could give each one of the power play gentlemen a hug, or women, whoever's playing, I would. Thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce a very good friend of ours, Mr. Ben Marchioni.
Hello, hello.
Ben is the regional director for Make-a-Wish Western New York. All-around good guy and self-proclaimed bad hockey player.
That's right. That's right. Hello, Mike and Amy. Good to be here.
So Ben, you've seen this story, you've seen this video.
Yeah.
You know, what was that day like?
It was really amazing. It was great to be there with you. We celebrate these kids, to be able to watch the joy in their eyes, to see that, to feel that emotion. That's why we do what we do. To see what that wish meant to little Summer and her journey. Pretty amazing. So it was great to capture it. Your team did an amazing job just to bring that to light too, because we want players to see that, the impact of their support.
And really to meet the wish granters. Maybe you can describe what a wish granter's role is.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really amazing. We have over 200 wish granting volunteers in Western New York, and they are our eyes and ears. They work with our families. They are our front line, and you won't meet nicer, better people, more committed to the mission. And they do whatever they can for our families. And as you saw, the relationship that they develop with the families is really powerful. Yeah.
It's, I think, a pool. My gosh, perfect summer for that, right? And Summer really enjoyed it and is still enjoying it. So the 11-day power play added Make-a-Wish, 2 years ago to be a part of, the funds that we raise. How important are those funds to your organization?
They mean the world to us. We, not only in times like these, but at any time, we raise money in our community for children in our community. And to be able to partner with an organization like yours and the commitment of all those involved in the community shift from the board on down to all the players, it really means a great deal to us. And what we know is that in our many years in Western New York, everyone knows a wish kid. Everyone has been touched by our organization. We see that. We've done over 3,400 wishes throughout the greater Western New York region. And so it's, it really means the world. So thank you all for supporting us, because as we know, the fight against cancer, it's the kids, it's the families, it's their journey. And we try to do our part with your support.
Now, the families, you guys grant these wishes, they're not cheap, and everything gets paid for, right? How many do you do in an average a year? And are you allowed to say about what each costs? Just to kind of put it in perspective of what what it means to grant a wish?
Sure, they greatly range, but we generally will grant anywhere from 100 wishes or more in the greater Western New York area annually. And those can really range tremendously. So it can be anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000+ if you think about the types of things that we do.
Hi, everyone.
But it's never about the money.
My name is Joe.
Right. It's not what we're about, and it's not what we expect our families to be about. It's about a child and their journey. And if they qualify for a wish for us, they get to dream, and we make it happen. So
I got to imagine that this year was a little different because, I think most of us know intuitively, it always comes to mind, I want to go to Disney World. I want to go to, an exotic place or something like that, Hawaii. And this year, traveling is just simply not easy. In some cases, not allowed at all.
Sure.
So that must have changed things a little bit this year.
It absolutely has. And we talk, a wish is a point in time oftentimes for our families, but we're with them oftentimes from diagnosis through treatments and beyond. And so this is a point in time, and we know that, but our children are resilient and very strong. Obviously, travel is a component of wishes that some children choose. Those can be amazing wishes. Many of our children are immune compromised. So as an organization that looks out for children's health, that's nothing that we're doing at the moment. But throughout our history, we've done amazing wishes that were not travel related, even though oftentimes people think about
like Summer's Pool.
Like Summer's Pool is a great example. We've had amazing wishes going on since March through this entire thing. Thanks to our volunteers' diligence and everything from virtual visits with celebrities to we just installed a she shed for a young lady a couple weeks ago. She's a young artist, and it's going to be her art studio.
Awesome.
I mean, how amazing is that? Pools, certainly. Gaming computers in this time, right?
Right.
Shopping sprees, just all kinds of amazing wishes that we continue to do despite the times.
I want to see the she shed.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. And, you think about that. This young lady, it was art that helped her through a lot of her treatments, and that's her passion. And to be able to provide this for her is really amazing.
How many wishes has the 11-day power play supported in the last 2 years?
The last 2 years, you've really helped us grant in great part up to 80 wishes, which is, if you think about that, that's really remarkable. And each one of those wishes matters, and it's a family, and it's a story that, so really kudos to you and the entire organization. That's a big deal. You should be very proud of that. We're certainly very grateful.
Just allowing families too. I think players and our supporters really should, appreciate being able to give families just, even if it's just a few moments of not thinking about what they're currently going through.
Sure.
Looking forward to something, the end of treatment. I think seeing Summer's family enjoying that pool is just one of the many, and we're determined to keep going. So
we've also had some of the Wish Kids at some of our events with captains. It's very powerful, and we've also seen. We had an event that Make-a-Wish put on, and some of the kids that got a wish when they were younger now are adults, and they talk about it. And to hear them talk about it gives me goosebumps. To hear them talk about it, it literally changed their life because it gave them hope. And it gave them a sense of I'm going to get through this. And to hear that, it seems as if obviously it's not a medical treatment, but it certainly helps. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. There's actually been research done on that. We have a lot of people in the medical community where they rely on wishes as part of the continuum of care for their children. And people don't necessarily think about that, but I know certainly with your own experiences, any of us can relate to that. The psychological power of a wish and that hope, something to look forward to, something oftentimes a wish might come at the end of a treatment plan. And so a kid will be more adherent to their schedule and what it is they need to do to be successful. It's a lot more multidimensional than one would think. And the other thing is that we were founded on the concept of one of those saddest circumstances where unfortunately a child, it was the last dying wish, but 80% of our kids today live to adulthood. And that's thanks to places like Roswell. That's thanks to, if you think about in cancer, the advancements over the last 30 years plus. It's a different thing today. It doesn't mean that it's not miserable and that our kids aren't fighting the fight of their lives. But it's been really amazing to see that. So I'm glad you've been able to meet some of those kids because, we have a lot of kids that look back and they say, that wish, that's the day that changed my life.
It was powerful. It was powerful being, powerful is the word. It was powerful being with you, a couple weeks ago to meet Summer and her family. We're excited. We really appreciate what you do and your team. I just can't believe the amount of time and energy, and it's all so worthwhile.
We love doing it. Every day I get to serve one of the best missions that there is, and we're just really thankful for your support.
Thank you for joining us, Ben.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
We're going to look over and see what Steve and Greg's team is doing. It looks like it's 1-0.
Yeah, I hear some hooting and hollering, so they must be into it. as the 9:30 game gets underway. We've got Team Montesquieu Social Club, sponsored by the Montesquieu Social Club, Greg Krause, wearing white, and also the Blackjack Bullets wearing black, sponsored by Douglas Development, and our good friend and local, our new Buffalo citizen, Doug Jamel. Black and white represent two different cancers, black being
melanoma
and white being
lung cancer.
That's right.
And we are now going into our after hours special, sponsored by Thin Man Brewery, and we have a wonderful guest that's joined us today, Marty Biron.
Martin, bonjour.
So
you get to sit back and relax.
I get to enjoy this, and this is fantastic. I'll tell you guys, it started with the very first year where you crazy 40 players decided to play for 11 days. And
tell that story you told just before, because that was interesting.
I got a few stories. First of all, last night I'm sitting watching some late night hockey game, and I got the computer on my lap, and I'm doing some work because I'm going to be on the Instigators in the morning, and I got to, do my research. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, let me go and check out the live stream, right? So when I logged into the 11daypowerplay.com, clicked on the live stream, it was the beginning of the documentaries that you guys put out for the very first year, and I had never seen it. So I sat in there and I watched the whole thing. It was amazing. The stories behind the players, their injuries, physical and mental, because they were drained. You guys did an amazing job, and it was just fantastic. I thought that was a great documentary put together, and it told a lot of stories, and it was great. It was awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thanks.
No, that was great.
I think it's been 4 years, so it's this is why we're replaying it. We want to make sure everyone's seen it, because those guys just really did so much good and laid the path for the community shift. You yourself have been involved with the 11-day power play since the first community shift.
Yes, and I have recovered for the better part of a month to 6 weeks after every time I've played. So, they want me to play goalie. That's the 1 or 2 times a year that I actually put the pads on and I actually play a game. I never do anymore. I mean, I don't even know if I have equipment that I could wear that would be fitting for the day and age of hockey now. So if I had to go back on the ice, I'd probably take my son's gear and say, hey, listen, you borrowed my gear for so many years. I'm borrowing yours right now because it's the better stuff. But, so, in year 2, we did a shift with some of the alumni, some of, NHL players around. Alex Tuck was there, and I remember he was fantastic. Last year did a couple of shifts, did one with the Academy of Hockey and did also the one with the Sabres Alumni and Pat Coletta and his foundation.
You played out? You played out?
No, I played goal,
Both
but
times.
I brought my son that time, so I got to play half and half.
Right,
I'm like,
right,
listen, I need a timeout here. You come in. So, and now this year we're going to get playing some street hockey, and I was watching the game before and this one, and they're intense. I mean,
the girls.
The girls were intense before. Now they're intense in there too. Black team really wants to get going, so they hunt balls down. They go to the corners. They make plays. It's great to see. So I think our group is going to be intense as well, because you can't take the competitive nature out of those that group of guys and gals. So it's going to be awesome.
Well, Jay McKee says that he's so excited to play street hockey. I guess in Canada, that's what he grew up doing and absolutely loves it.
We did that not only in the summer. We did that 12 months out of the year. Some days, my buddy across the street, my dad used to flood the backyard, but after a while, my buddy across the street had the perfect setup. He had a crushed stone kind of volleyball court in the back. So it was easy. We would just put boards and flood that, and it was great. Well, some weekends or weeks, sometimes it's a little warmer and the ice is not as good. So then we would take it to the street. And we lived on a straight street that was a dead end. So, and we were towards the end of the street, so not as many cars go by. And between the hours of 4:30 and 6, they knew if you were coming home from work, you had to go around us. We weren't moving the nets. The only time we were moving the nets was for the school bus, the late school bus for the after-hours program. Then we had to move the nets. But we were you had to go around us. And my house had the 2 nets on the front porch. We had the goalie equipment in the basement, and if we weren't there, then the kids would come knock on the door. Hey, can we get the goalie equipment? They would go downstairs, grab the 2 bags, come out, and the nets. And my parents were like, "No problem." That's what our street was. We played hockey. 12 months out of the year in the street, and
get the snowbanks on the sides, get knocked into the snowbanks.
So the plow would push the snow to the side, but every once in a while they'd bring these massive snow blowers, these truck snow blowers, and they would cut the street wider so that the snow wouldn't like just make the street really narrow. And they would literally make a 5-foot wall on each side of the street that was hard snow.
Perfect.
So if you got hit in there, there were some soft spots, but there were some hard, icy spots. Those one really hurt. So, yeah.
Now, is your brother older or younger?
He's 3 years younger.
Okay.
So, but he's taller and bigger.
Yeah.
So I picked on him until about I was 16 and he was 13. And then all of a sudden he blew right by me, and I was like, "Oh no, thank you, sir." Yeah.
I was just wondering because I was thinking that oftentimes I had a little brother, and somehow he always got to play goalie. It's usually the younger brother that gets stuck in that.
It's funny you say that. When I got drafted by the Sabres, the week before, I met with a bunch of teams, and the Tampa Bay Lightning interviewed me in their hotel rooms and whatnot, kind of like what they do at the Combine here in Buffalo. They do interviews. Phil and Tony Esposito's were, at the time, members of the organization with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So Phil goes, "Oh, Marty, tell us about you. You have any brothers, sisters?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got a younger brother." He goes, "Does he play hockey?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's a pretty good player, too. He'll come up in a few years. You'll talk to him." And he goes, "Can you tell me why you decided to play goalie and not make the younger brother play goalie?" I made Tony. Tony was younger than me. I said, "Hey, young kid, get in net. I'm going to pepper you." Just like you saying. And I had no answer. Probably why they didn't draft me. I blacked out. I was like, I don't know what to say. I kind of went shy and didn't say anything. But that's usually the way it works.
We're grateful that they didn't draft you because we like you here in Buffalo.
Well, I've been drafted in 1995, moved to Rochester in 97. Basically been out here in Western New York for 23 years. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. That's where I am. That's my adult home. I have a young and teenager home, which was Quebec City, but now it's here. And I'll tell you, I love the community. And a quick story, because things happen. So today I go to the post office in Orchard Park, and I have my 11-day power play T-shirt on. And I walk in and to drop a package, and the postman behind me, he goes, "Oh, the 11-day power play, that's awesome, that's fantastic." I'm like, "Yeah, they've got it going on right now at Buffalo River Works." He goes, "Yeah, I know about it. Yeah, that's great. I got some friends that have played in it." So I'm like, "Oh, this is cool, right? This is Buffalo. This is, the community sense of it." I walk outside to go to my car, and this one lady says, "Hey, nice T-shirt." And I have my mask on. I have my 11-day power play mask on. And, so she doesn't really recognize me. And she goes, "Did you play?" And I'm like, I did a couple of times. And I'm going to do it again this year on the street hockey. And then she recognized the accent. He goes, "Marty?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then so then we got to talking. Her son was Jason Jablonski.
Oh,
JJ. So that was Lori. And I got to talk to her for like 20 minutes right there in the parking lot at the post office. And she's telling me about how, he played for the Regals growing up in St. Francis, and then he went to the Naval Academy. I knew a little bit of the story, but didn't really know much of it. So she shared the story. It was just amazing. I'm like, I want to give you a hug. I mean, I know we can't, and it's difficult, but we're going like this, But it's just a fantastic story, and they'll be here Sunday night, I believe. So
and
it's
kids from all over, local kids that played with him here at the Regals and high school at St. Francis.
Yes.
Yep. And then, when he went to college, like a lot of those kids come back and play.
She was telling me that the Naval Academy, because they can't leave campus, they are organizing a street hockey game to be played at the same time over there. So that is like, we talk about this now, and it's reached all around the world. It's not just here in Buffalo. You guys did an amazing job, and it's all over the world. So it's special. It's something special.
She picked up the jersey. She was actually one of the first to see All Cancers Matter. It's different colors. She came to the office to pick them up, and she drove them down there to the kids that are playing down there.
Yep.
So like how awesome is that to be able to be sent?
It's
south.
Buffalo in a nutshell. People wanting to support another, wanting to join in great causes, and then to have people like you guys to be able to put in countless hours and days and months and years, and it's amazing. So I feel fortunate. Like, I come in and I spend a few minutes talking to you guys here. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that any time and come in to play a shift. But the work you guys do and the volunteers do in the back, I came in and I must have come in through the wrong door. And then I got to tap my shoulder. I'm like, hey, we got to do your temperature check. And I'm like, okay. So they're doing their job. I'm telling you, they're doing their job back there. So that's great.
So you're wearing the golf shirt.
Yes.
Want to talk a little bit about, now before you do that, do you know, did we tell you the stats of the golf outing that you guys did? It was you, Patrick Clutta, Mike Pekka, and Jay McKee as the pros. And in a 2-week period, we raised $47,000.
I knew it was above 45,000. We had talked about it, but also this is amazing that you guys got to capture all of it. What a fantastic day! What some great people. You know, I mean, you talk about some of the.
Watch this shot right here.
Oh, okay, let's see.
Sorry.
Was that you? So the hole number 2 is the par 3.
Yeah.
So they had the drone flying, right? So I put it in the water. So I didn't want to hit the drone. I didn't want to break that equipment. So I put it in the water. But what a great day! And you know, you guys were talking about some of the proceeds and funds are going to go to the COVID-19 Roswell Park relief program. And one of the guys I played with was in the hospital for a while with COVID, and it was in a coma. They thought he was going, and then Robert, he made a great recovery. So you meet some really cool people through all of that. You know, the fact that we tied for second. We were on 18. We were the last group. Everybody was around the green.
We had a little heckling going on.
We had the approach to come in. Then we had to make the putt for eagle to be able to tie it for first. We didn't make it. There was a putt off, and then there was a winner. But it was great. It was awesome.
I think everybody was surprised that everybody's had their money on Team Pekka, and at the end of the day, Coletta, of all people, Coletta pulled it out.
He can crush a drive. Pat Coletta was crushing drives on that course.
Hockey gloves or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Pekka actually had put his golf bag in the
I also didn't want to hit the drone. I didn't want to hit the drone.
So Pekka actually had put his golf bags away, and when he went to putt, he used just somebody's putter. And he literally, it was like maybe a 30-foot putt, like the closest to the hole. He probably went halfway. Like that was the worst putt of the group, and it was probably the best golfer of the group. But he was a lot of fun.
He left quickly after that.
He's never a good. He's a. I don't want to say a sore loser, but he's not a
he
good
prefers
loser.
to win.
Well,
he prefers to win.
He's competitive. He's absolutely competitive.
Absolutely competitive. He came in. He was on the range for a half an hour before teeing off and working on his game. He plays so much golf that his tan lines on his feet are like completely. His feet are white and his legs are dark. That's how much golf he's playing. So.
He's a good player too. He's a good player.
Really good player.
He was on yesterday, and Mike, Mike's a good friend of ours. He said the same thing you did about Buffalo.
Yep.
He's from Toronto. You're from Quebec, and after he arrived here, met Kristen. They went to New York and Edmonton and Columbus, and they came back here because it's a great community. And he said the same things you did about this community, and the fact that we're here playing this event, we've raised over $1 million in 2020, speaks to our community. It's a special place.
Every year, and I know there's so many special groups and charities and events that are happening around the city, around the region, but some of them are extra special. Because you know the people. Some events are huge, and you don't know the people, and it's great to support all of them. And we do some with the Sabres that is great events, and you meet some great people. My friend Isabella, who has done the Bald for Bucks for years. She is in Philadelphia right now for treatments over there, her and her family. And I was talking to her mom, and I said, just, don't tell them you're from Buffalo or you like the Sabres or the Bills. It's going to be tough. But if you want to, wear a Biron Flyers jersey. You're going to be all set. They're going to like you everywhere.
It's a good
it's great. And you mentioned I grew up in Quebec City, and obviously, in my family, I've had some people in the fight and come out on the good side of it and some in the fight that didn't come out on the good side of it.
Yep.
But really learned a lot from those experiences from people close to me. One of my closest cousins, she was my age, and we lost her. It's now 11 years ago, I believe. So I mean, it's tough, and it makes you think.
Yeah.
So
we're reminded of every day.
Every day.
Absolutely.
Dale Howard Chuck the other day. I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, Dale was one of those stories, and the amount of courage and strength that he showed until the very end, and his family really, because for Dale, it's really sad because he gave his life to the people and to make sure that he was a role model, but for his family to continue that legacy. I mean, that's a tough part, and his son Eric has done an amazing job putting the message out there. And so, again, big family. The hockey family is a big family.
Yep.
You guys are building a huge family with this 11-day power play, and it's great. It's amazing.
What did your son think of playing in the event?
Oh, he loved it. So he's got like 8
goalie,
different,
by the way.
Goalie, yes. His phone cover is a picture from the event. A picture that Bill Whipper, I think, took, and he sent it to me. So, you know, for Christmas, I got him a phone cover, and it's that picture.
Oh, cool.
Of him in the nets. But he's got like 8 group chats going either on Snapchat or Instagram or text messages with some of the people that we played with. Because there was some kids his age that we played against and some different teams. So he's got a few groups going on, and he loved it. And for him, I mean, he got to play with, you know, they sit on the bench with some of the Sabres alumni, and he's like, this is really cool, taking shots from Michael Pekka and those guys. So he thought it was really, really cool. But at some point, and you know, the kids become way better than the adults. So
I'm there.
I know you're there. I know Liam can outskate the old man, so that's good. So, but I'm in the same boat right now. I'm like, you're way better than I was at any age. Just go do your thing. Come out and skate and have fun, and it was a good experience. It was great.
How old was he when he had his first skate with you?
Oh boy, young, but funny enough, because of my schedule and because of how busy we were, I remember his first year that he played mini mites here in Buffalo. I was in Long Island. So, you know, through the years in Philly, he did a couple of skating lessons, but that was it. But the first year that he got to play, and he was with Clarence, and they played out at Nichols, and on Saturday, Sunday morning, I wasn't even here. So I would get the videos. They would send me the videos after, and he'd be in the locker room, and he's like his old man. He talks a lot, so he'd be like, Dad, today I scored a goal. I made a great pass. I skated fast. And I have all of this on computer. But then when we got to New York with the Rangers, then I went on the ice with him a little bit. Then he transitioned to goalie, which was really cool. A little cruel at times because he's looking at me and playing in the National Hockey League, and he's like, that's what I'm going to do. I know I'm going to play for the New York Rangers or for the Buffalo Sabres, and I'm like, okay, well, just enjoy playing in Bedford right now, or, like that's where we are. But
it's always got the dream.
He's got the dream. he's got many dreams.
And he's a big kid too now.
Yeah,
he's grown.
He's past
I've seen
me.
him. Yeah.
My girls, I mean, I've got 3 girls. I got a 14, 12, and 10-year-old as well. So he's 16, and my girls are a little younger, but they were gone for the middle 2 were gone for the last 3 weeks. I hadn't seen them in 3 weeks. They came back on Tuesday. They do horseback riding, and they're really competitive in that department. And they came back. I'm like, whoa.
Did you grow?
Like, what happened over there? Did they hang you upside down by your feet? Like, you don't see them for a couple of weeks, and they grow so much. It's amazing.
Yeah. So for Liam, the 2017, the world record game, we were busy planning that whole year. And after the event, we looked at Liam, and school was starting a month later, and I didn't have any pants that fit him. It was like he grew like 5 inches. I'm like, oh my gosh. It made you feel like you missed the whole year.
It kind of feels like that right now because of COVID, and the pandemic started in March. We're in late August. I'm like, where has the last 5.5, 6 months been?
Yeah, it's been very
I feel like it's been a blur. And, now that we have a little bit more of the well, I call it the norm. Like there's hockey on TV, there's sports, there's things going on. It feels like, okay, I'm catching up to it. But for the last 4 months, I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
Where has it been?
Yeah, it's very odd.
So, yeah, I'm feeling that, like, so this shirt, and you guys laughed. You said, I got my polo from the 11-day power play. I'm going through my closet. I'm like, where's my 11-day power play golf shirt, right? And so I'm like, Jacob, where is it? He goes,
he's wearing it.
It's in my closet. you said I could wear it. And I'm like, well, I need it. So he's like coming into my closet and stealing stuff. That's really what it comes down to.
Well, thanks for representing tonight.
Well,
You
no,
look
this is fantastic. It's great, and again with the T-shirt, and it's people recognize the T-shirt, the logo.
I think there's a lot of pride.
There's
It's a
ton of pride.
Buffalo event that started here, and hopefully will go into other cities.
You know what, and that's what we were with Lori. That's what we were talking. She's like, I think they want to go into different cities and branch out and really regroup everybody, and that's what it did here. I mean, how many players played last year in the community shift? Like, we're talking
2,600.
I was going to say a couple of thousand. I mean,
Yep.
that regroups a ton of people, a ton of family, parts of the world that you don't even know. People come back to Buffalo, so
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact stats, but we had something like 20 states and 9 countries represented last year,
Yeah.
including a guy that came from Tokyo, Japan. He's from here, lives in Tokyo, and his buddies were playing. And last year he came. He was planning to come this year. He couldn't.
Obviously,
but,
yeah.
We're going to go to the Lamar stat board.
Okay.
So we can review the stats from the day. They're interesting stats. Current totals.
So that's we just started last night. So there's been 71 goals scored. We've got 1,300 players and 98 teams.
I feel like it's harder to score goals in this format.
It is.
The ball doesn't react the same way. You don't shoot the same way, and the goalies look like Michelin Man when on the ice. It's different. That puck flies a little bit. So, but 71 goals, 1,300 players, amazing. I mean, it's just started. 1,300 players.
What we got here? Like 3-zip. Our game, we played with a bunch of the original 40 guys. It was only like 8-7 or something. We played for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So
on the ice, that would have been like 21 to 19.
Yeah, probably.
But no, this is great. I'm going to have to maybe dust off the old running shoes a couple days before and just stretch and do some sprints in the yard or something like that.
Are you going to play goal, do you think?
I don't know. See, you talked about Jay McKee, how excited he is to play. Whenever we would do things like this with the Sabres, and we did it often, we would go down around the Cobblestone District, find a parking lot, and play street hockey with, maybe 10, 12 guys for fun. Jay always wanted to be the goalie. He always wanted to play goal. There's a situation where maybe I start, maybe he finishes, maybe he starts. I don't know. But I feel like I would love to score a goal. I would love to get out there and score a goal.
I think you should. Marty, I was thinking about you the other day. Anytime you play in our event, you're in goal, and everyone wants to score against you. I mean, how does that feel?
And by the way, you don't make it
You're
easy.
a trooper.
Well,
because when they score on you, they celebrate.
They celebrate. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I kind of played that one easy. It's the ones where I think I played them really hard that go in, I get really mad. And so last year, I think it was the very first shift, somebody came down the wing and took a slap shot, and I went to grab it with a glove, and I completely missed it, and it went in. And Pat Coletta is laughing. Brian Giunta is over and goes, dude, what happened? How can you let that one go?
Like, come on, it was a girl. I let her score.
But it looked like I was trying, so I couldn't even say, I was just letting it go. Like, I was mad that one went in. But, no, I laugh all the time. Professional hockey players, even now, I'm 6 years removed. I am nowhere near where those guys are. Like, I feel so fortunate and lucky to have played for 15 years. I'm like, how did that happen? Pinch me. Because these guys are so good. Like, I watch my old games, and I'm like, I'm just average. Obviously, like, what am I doing there? But
far from average.
But far from that, I got to play 15 years. But I look at the guys now, and I'm like, how did I even do this? How did I even play? And so I laugh when some people say, you know what, I can score on an NHL goalie. No, you can't. I can tell you right now, you cannot. Those guys are so good. And unless they let you score, and the Philadelphia Flyers at this carnival where fans would come down and take shots on us. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. 5 hours in my gear, taking shots from fans, right? And the fans are there, and they're like, we're going to score. We're going to score. And obviously, you got to let some score. Like, the kid comes in, you make it look bad. But guys are shooting at your head. They're going bar down. I'm like, dude, you're not scoring. You have zero chance. So sometimes now, as an alumni and as a retired goalie, I try, and they score, and I get mad. Sometimes I let them score, but it does happen that
the goalies and, like, the players, they are just they're ridiculous how good they are.
Well, you saw it last year, like Matty Ellis, right? Matt Ellis is like, what, 5 years retired? Maybe he played in Rochester. He was on the ice. He was skating laps around everybody. Still, like, I did like 10 levels above everybody. It was amazing. But, yeah. So this puts it on an evil playing field, though. I'll tell you this. Playing ball hockey, NHL or not, we're all back to our youth, and we're all on an even playing field.
That's right.
So that's why I think I can score. I can go in and score because
we'll be rooting for you.
We'll be rooting for you. Amy's going to be playing goal on the other team.
Oh, good. Yes.
I can actually get out there. I can't skate, Marty. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did not know that.
So I might get out there and play a little. But, Marty, the event this year has changed a little bit. We're doing this live stream because we really want to educate the community. We want to raise awareness to all different types of cancers. So we're actually going to meet Dr. Yedamari from Roswell Park, who's going to talk about lung cancer. Another reason why our players are wearing white.
Yep.
It's the color of lung cancer. So we're going to go ahead and watch that now. We know that you're a very busy person, and we appreciate your time.
Oh, the privilege is mine.
Could you start out by telling us a little bit about yourself and what brought you into this work and this, to work in this field of cancer?
I was born and brought up in India, and that's where I went to med school. And right out of med school, I came over to the United States to pursue surgical training. And a lot of the surgeons that I ended up training with in general surgery, at least the ones who inspired me, were all lung surgeons. So I naturally gravitated towards lung surgery. During my general surgery training, I actually spent 2 years in the lab where I worked a fair bit on lung cancer genetics. So both the disease process itself fascinated me, and the impact that this disease has on patients motivated me. I think it's a combination of both of those things. And that got cemented when I went to MD Anderson to train, specifically in thoracic oncology.
And is lung cancer hereditary?
There is possibly a genetic susceptibility, with lung cancer, but it's not hereditary in the sense of the term that, if parents have lung cancer, the kids will also develop lung cancer. No, because it's very related to environmental exposure, like smoking.
So screening is important for lung cancer for sure. What are your hopes for the future in the treatments of lung cancer?
We've seen, several advances, even, during my time, during my career here. I've been doing this now for about 15 years. And even during this time, we've seen great strides. We've seen minimally invasive surgery really come into its fore. We've seen targeted agents for chemotherapy. We've seen sophisticated radiation. And over the last couple of years, we've really seen an explosion of immunotherapy. I think the biggest advance we are going to see over the next 5 years is more immunotherapeutic agents, more targeted therapy agents, and our ability to treat much smaller tumors, hopefully even without surgery, endobronchially through ablation, and so on and so forth. So we are really seeing an explosion in terms of the technology available to treat patients with lung cancer, no matter what their stage is.
Roswell Park is a research hospital. What type of research specifically is looking at lung cancer and how to save lives?
So we do research, for example, on screening, how to effectively screen, how to catch it early, on developing biomarkers for early diagnosis. Then we do research on treatment of early stage and diagnosis. For example, we've just started a robotic bronchoscopy program, which is much more accurate at diagnosing lesions earlier in their evolution. So we are doing research in early diagnosis as well, not just screening, our ability to biopsy these through new technology. We are also doing research in terms of surgery, how to get patients in and out quicker with less impact on their lives. Minimally invasively, doing smaller surgery to get the same result, and so on. Our radiation therapy folks are working with, being able to develop new modalities of radiation for patients who cannot tolerate surgery and have substantial tumors, and they're finding good results. And of course, I think in terms of immunotherapy, we have several clinical trials that are open and are opening, continuing to open. For example, we have the CMOVAX vaccine that is undergoing clinical trials here at Roswell. And so that is one form of immunotherapy. So we are conducting multiple lines of research on immunotherapeutic agents, or in honing them down to fitting the right therapy for the right patient. So we're doing research on practically every aspect of lung cancer that you can think of.
And how important is community support? Donations that come in for events like the 11-day power play, general donations, and the Ride for Roswell. How important are those funds to your research?
That is critical. And the reason it's critical is like this, we do apply for and are very successful in getting funding from the National Cancer Institute, for example, and from foundations. But that funding is available only after a project reaches a certain level of maturity, right? So, but for a project to reach that level of maturity, when it's in its early stages, seed funding is very, very important. And that seed funding is almost exclusively through community support, through philanthropy. And just like the name suggests, a seed is critical, right, before you can have a tree. Once you're a sapling, the NCI can maybe support it. But before that, at the early stage, it is community support and it is philanthropy that really, gets us from the seed to the sapling stage.
So every dollar is important.
Absolutely.
And seed money means that, a dollar means more than a dollar, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Because, at that stage, it's like, at that stage, the positive effect of that dollar multiplies many times over the lifetime of that project, So it's the positive impact that people can have at that stage of funding for a research project is huge. It's huge, much more than the dollar amount simply would signify.
So we have a lot of people that are involved in our event, our organization called the 11-day Power Play. We have volunteers, we have players, we have people every day that help us put this event on. They train, they fundraise. Do you have a message for them?
The message I would give to them is what they're doing is very significant. And I hope they understand and appreciate the worth of what they're doing. Because this is going to impact the lives, of their family. It is going to positively impact the lives of the people around them. It is going to bring to this community, therapies that wouldn't have otherwise existed. So I think it's very important that they realize that what they're doing is so vitally important.
So I just wanted to mention congratulations to you and your coworkers at Roswell Park. You were just recently ranked number 14th in cancer care hospitals across the United States. How does that feel?
It's a validation of our continued activity and our efforts at making this the best hospital that we can make it. And this is 2 times in a row. So the last year, number 14, and this year continuing at number 14. And it's also a validation of the senior leadership of the organization in terms of the direction they're taking us to, and leading us effectively, especially in trying times like these.
Well, Dr. Yanamari, I just want to thank you for all that you do. Just recently, in recent years, my husband, lost his mother to lung cancer, and we personally know how important your work is, and we just want to thank you for joining us today.
I'm sorry to hear that, and thank you for inviting me for this, and thank you for allowing me to participate in this event.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Dr. Yedamari, amazing research, lung cancer. He's done incredible research. I did mention to him that your mom, we lost your mom to lung cancer, and the amazing work that Roswell keeps doing. So, we were talking earlier, we've had a lot of people reaching out to us saying, where are you staying during this time? We're usually at Harbor Center, and we're staying at the Marriott, and, we've had our crew with us every minute. Uplift our video, the features that you're watching, with our beneficiaries, with our teams, and just really telling amazing stories. That's what they do. They tell good stories.
It's not easy to sit up here and look so pretty, but they do a great job of making me look so pretty.
And keeping us on track.
Keep us on track. So, speaking of keep us on track.
So we talked about sharing, where we're staying these 11 days.
Yes.
So
we are staying not in the Marriott, but on the Marriott on wheels.
Well, let's take them to
Let's take a little tour.
Okay. No, I gotta go this way. This lovely RV was donated by Mantinelli RV. Thank you so much for supporting us and allowing us somewhere to stay for 11 days. So come on in. As you can see, it's pretty tight in here. Not much space, but enough, I guess, to get us through, right? So we have our bedroom here to your right. It's pretty small. Not much room for the clothes. Obviously, we need different outfits every night for our live stream. Hard to keep things not wrinkled.
Of course, the family couch.
Nice little couch here for Mike to lounge. Our little eating area, which is also our office. So constantly charging our computers and our phones, and lots of technology used during this live stream this week, and keeping in contact with all of our players.
Staying well hydrated, of course.
The fridge is full. We'll leave it at that. Nice little sink area. Of course, we've got Red Bull cans all over the place because they generously donated Red Bull this week for our players and volunteers.
Thank you, sir.
Keeping us active, keeping us awake. 2 extra beds, but obviously we're using this as storage. We've got another extra printer there in case our other printer dies on us. Extra clothes, towels, more area here to store. I put a sign, do not use bathroom, because this is just for Mike and I for the week. We need to keep as much water here as possible. And as you can see, it's a very small bathroom. We are showering inside Riverworks, but we are using this bathroom at night to make sure we get through the night.
Should have done this earlier.
So the coolest part is we actually get to smell Cheerios being made. We wake up to it, we go to bed to it. It's awesome, right? And you hear that humming noise.
You hear the trains.
We're
the boats
never.
Go by.
Yeah, the trains are awesome.
We might still hear you wrong. Day comes to an end. We had a really great day today. It started out with my good buddy Paulie Z and his group from the FAHL. Got to talk to Paulie, the captain Paulie. Got to talk to Steve Skrepchik and Greg Krause, and our beneficiary. We got to talk to Ben Marchone. Andrew was here from Oshai Children's Hospital, and our good friend Matt Lowe from Crowley Webb, talking about PD and some of the creative stuff that they've done. And then, of course, Marty, just a great guy to interview, and just so fun to, so fun to be a part of our event.
I love hearing his stories.
Yeah.
He's so great.
So remember, we have surpassed $1 million. We're at about $1 million, $20,000. We want to get to $1.1 million. We have 10 more days to do it. 11daypowerplay.com. Donate. Go to the live feed. Go on social media. Please ask people to go on watch our live stream.
So we earlier had a technical difficulty with our Excelsior tip of the day, and here is now the full Excelsior tip of the day.
Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Josette Fisher. I'm the Director of Sports Medicine and Wellness with Excelsior Orthopedics. I am happy to announce that we are yet again the healthcare provider for the 11-day Power Play. This week, our team of experts will be sharing with all of you, either watching online or participating during the event, 11 healthy tips to keep you safe and active.
In our first tip of our series, we're going to cover a proper warm-up. As most of you know, it's important to get your body prepared for any type of activity before going out on the ice, on the court, or on the field. At Excelsior, we tend to use a functional warm-up to start, which is as simple as running 20 yards forward and backpedaling back to your starting point, followed up by side shuffles or karaokas, essentially looking for movements that challenge all planes of the body. Once completed with those, we usually encourage our athletes to engage themselves in a series of lunges. These lunges include both a forward lunge, a side lunge, and a posterior lateral lunge. Other variations are acceptable as well, as long as you're getting the legs and hips prepared for activity. The final part of most of our warm-ups includes getting core mobility engaged. And what we mean by that is essentially taking everything between the shoulders and the hips and getting them warmed up as well. In our videos, you'll see us demonstrating core mobility. And for these drills, you can use your hockey stick instead of the bar that you're demonstrated in our videos. Our motions essentially move from hips, shoulders, from ground, all the way up to the head. And again, we'll engage the muscles of the core that are so critical in most athletic endeavors. A proper warm-up should take between 5 and 10 minutes, and by the time you're finished, you should feel that you've elevated your heart rate, may have broken a sweat, but certainly prepared your nervous system and the rest of your body for activity. In doing so, you decrease your risk for injury.
Thank you everyone for checking our healthy tip of the day. If you do find yourself in need of orthopedic care, you can find us at excelsiorortho.com or give us a call at 716-250-9999. We'd be happy to serve you.
Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 7 p.m. to watch all the action that's happening tomorrow. We have teams coming in and out all day long, and we're raising cancer awareness again tomorrow. So join us and be a part of that. And don't forget to access our 11daypowerplay.com website and donate. And we're going to take it over to watch the end of the game over here.
Enjoy the game.
Good night, everyone.
First time playing, and it turns into street hockey.